now in Germany. It's a one platform which has brought together policy makers, business leaders, other important voices from entertainment and sports sector. So they've all come together on one platform and they're going to chart out the course for how
India-German Germany or Guten Morgen Deutschland. Namaskar, Swagat, Bharat. Requesting Germans and Indians at the back to please take your seats. Please, at the back, if you can see me, requesting all of you to please take your seats because... That's right. Thank you so much. And Guten Morgen, Namaskar. It's time for the summit of all summits, the News9 Global Summit. We are delighted to be back in Stuttgart. It is the second edition of News9 Global Summit Germany edition, and we are here back at the MHP Arena as well. So great to have all of you with us. This News9 Global Summit Germany edition 2025 is presented by the State Government of Maharashtra and the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. And it's co-hosted by VfB Stuttgart, supported by the state of Baden-Württemberg, an initiative by the TV9 network. Let me first give a shout out to all our sponsors for the event. Our gold partner, Fintiba and Barmer. Silver partners, MHP and Tata Ace Pro. Health partner, TK. Special partner, Tata AIG. Associate partners, MMRDA, Sidco, Maharashtra Tourism and SRA. Innovation partner, German Indian Innovation Corridor. And session partner, the city of Karlsruhe in Germany. So thank you to all our partners for being a part of the second edition of News9 Global Summit Germany edition. It's a mega thought fest that brings together visionary leaders, policy makers, and more importantly, innovators in all fields from India and Germany. So it's got everything from business to technology, from culture to policy. And this summit is going to be a celebration. And a celebration with dialogue, collaboration, and more importantly, looking out for those right opportunities for dialogue and collaboration. And the theme, let me begin with that. The theme of this year's summit is Democracy, Demography, Development. The India-Germany Connect. From powerful political figures who are already with us over here, to iconic corporate leaders in business, to leaders in technology and sustainability, this landmark platform brings together all of them. And on behalf of the TV9 network and on behalf of News9, it's my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to an event that promises powerful conversations, fresh perspectives, and most importantly, meaningful connections that we hope to have right through the day. Take a look.
The world is changing.
Democracies are tested.
The old order is collapsing. But in the chaos of disruption lie the architects of the future. A nation with scale.
A nation with precision.
India and Germany together. One vision, one future.
Here in Stuttgart, the conversation begins.
In questions that will define the next decade.
Leaders who decide.
Innovators who disrupt.
Icons who inspire.
All on one stage.
All for one dialogue.
This is more than a summit.
It is the writing of tomorrow.
Welcome to the News9 Global Summit Germany edition 2025.
Huge round of applause for the News9 Global Summit Germany edition, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin things in all earnesty. And before we go any further, I'm just going to give you a quick highlight of the kind of people who are expected over here for the day. We have some senior, powerful Indian policy makers amongst us. We have the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, set to join us. We have Shri Anurag Thakur, Member of Parliament, with us. Thank you so much for being with us, Shri Anurag Thakur ji, for joining us here. Huge round of applause for Shri Anurag Thakur. Thank you, sir. We also have Mr. Arvind Vermani, Member Niti Aayog, with us, ladies and gentlemen. Huge round of applause for Shri Arvind Vermani. Thank you, sir, for taking time out to be with us over here. And we also have the State of Maharashtra's Minister for Industry, Shri Uday Samant, also with us. Thank you so much, Shri Uday Samant ji, for taking time out to be with us. So that's and we also, more importantly, we also have India's Ambassador to Germany, Mr. Ajit Gupte, also joining us. Thank you so much, Shri Ajit Gupte, for being with us over here. And so that is the Indian delegation. Let's also quickly tell you, we have representation from the European Union. We have Mr. Maros Sefcovic, the European Commissioner for Trade. Huge round of applause for Mr. Maros Sefcovic, who's set to join us later. And, of course, from Germany, from Deutschland, we have Germany's Federal Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Johann Wadefull, set to join us. Thank you so much, Mr. Johann Wadefull. Huge round of applause for him. We also have Ms. Nina Warken, Federal Health Minister for Germany, set to join us. Huge round of applause for Ms. Nina Warken as well. We also have Gunther Kirschbaum, Minister of State for Europe, Federal Foreign Office. And Mr. Florian Hasseler, State Secretary for Political Coordination and Europe in Baden-Württemberg. And Dr. Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut, Minister of Labor, Economy and Tourism for Baden-Württemberg. Huge round of applause for Dr. Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut. I hope I'm pronouncing your name perfectly right. Thank you so much. And also, just before we go any further, this summit is powered by AM Green. A huge thank you for AM Green for being part of the News9 Global Summit 2025 edition. Thank you. Round of applause for AM Green as well. Thank you. So, it is going to be a long, packed day. I don't want to waste any more time telling you what's going to happen. I want it to unfold. And for that, to get things started, we will begin with the opening address. And to kick things off with the opening address, let's first talk about the man who envisioned this incredible platform. The man whose quote-unquote brainchild it is. And the man who has led from the front. Take a look.
At a time when the world looks for new partnerships, when economies demand reinvention, and when ideas travel faster than borders, the story began here in Stuttgart. The world's voices converged, and a new chapter of cooperation was written. Now the summit returns, bigger, bolder. This edition builds on a vision. Democracy, demography, development. The India-Germany Connect. At the heart of this vision is a leader, a strategist, a disruptor, and a believer in India's story on the global stage. Please welcome the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TV9 Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Mr. Barun Das, Managing Director and CEO of TV9 Network, requesting him to please take the stage and deliver the opening address, sir.
Thank you, Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Before I start, I want to share a story of my personal experience with you. As a corporate executive, I often encounter foreigners who are curious about the New India story. One such recent incident on my flight to Frankfurt stands out in my memory. So here I was sitting, there's a German gentleman sitting next to me, who told me that he had been reading about the story of New India and asked for my views, that what my thoughts are about the most profound changes of India in recent time. It was a rather intelligent question, and it got me thinking. As I told the gentleman, the answer is India's unique ability to leapfrog to modernity while remaining core to the core value of Indianness. He gave me a quizzical look, and I went on to explain. Indianness is all about inclusivity, taking everyone together, a principle that the whole world is now realizing is the only way to peace, prosperity, and progress. And these must go hand in hand while including everyone. India's quantum leap to modernity can be witnessed, for example, in its adoption of wireless and digital technology. More than 20 billion transactions took place in the month of August 2025 on India's Unified Payment Interface, or the UPI system. The poorest of poor Indian now can not only transact on their smartphones, but they also get information and services which are vital to their livelihood. Billions of dollars of government subsidy get transferred directly to the intended beneficiary's account without any leakage. So what India has done is converted smartphone into a powerful tool of economic prosperity, and no wonder the result is apparent. 240 million Indians have emerged out of poverty over the last 10 years. 240 million, which is almost 3 times the population of Germany. Thank you. Thank you. I make this point to highlight why we have gathered here this morning. Mr. Anurag Thakur, Member of Parliament, Mr. Vimani, Member Niti Aayog, Ambassador Gupte, Minister Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut, Ruben, my friend, Consul General of Munich, and the Honorary Consul General, Mr. Lapp of the state of Baden-Württemberg. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the second edition of News9 Global Summit, Germany, which is co-hosted by the state of Baden-Württemberg and VfB Stuttgart. This year marks the completion of 25 years of strategic relations between India and Germany. Under the leadership of India's Prime Minister, Honorable Sri Narendra Modi ji, and the successive German chancellors, the bilateral relations have reached new highs. Now, as we witness the global order undergo dramatic transformation at an unprecedented speed, leading us to a sort of uncertainty that the modern world hasn't witnessed recently, the need for two countries to come together is even greater than ever. The opportunity that India and Germany have is not just to forge a mutual win-win. Instead, the opportunity is to create a partnership model which can be adopted by the free world. After all, Germany is India's largest trading partner in European Union, with an annual trading volume of close to 30 billion US dollars. And the UAE, on the other hand, is India's largest trading partner as a bloc. Therefore, India-EU free trade agreement that is being currently negotiated will be a transformational pact. Various estimates suggest that the EU's export to India could go up by 50 to 60%, while India's export to EU could rise 30 to 35%. Once the FTA is signed by the end of this year or early next year, the bilateral trade between India and EU could double to almost $260 billion by 2028. Germany's Mittelstand companies are already at the forefront, leveraging this relationship. There are more than 150 global capability centers, or the GCCs, German GCCs in India, and more are coming up. German companies are no longer looking at India as a low-cost destination. In fact, the GCCs are driving the next wave of global innovation across digital engineering, Industry 4.0, healthcare, autonomous driving, amongst others. Germany's Federal Minister of Foreign Affairs, who will be speaking to us soon, Mr. Johann Wadephul, who visited India recently, reiterated India's importance as a strategic partner for Germany across the board in the Indo-Pacific, and how it plays a crucial role in the system of global partnership. While hosting Minister Wadephul, Prime Minister Modi was unequivocal when he said, as vibrant democracies and leading economies, India and Germany see immense potential to scale up mutually beneficial cooperation in trade, technology, innovation, sustainability, manufacturing, and mobility. That is why our summit took on the bold theme this year, democracy, demography, and development, the India-Germany Connect. Over the course of the day, we will explore many important aspects of bilateral relations and hear from some of the most key important stakeholders, including policymakers, industry captains, and thought leaders. Going back to the gentleman I met on the flight, I invited him to visit India and form his own opinion about the opportunity that the new India has to offer. I would make a similar invitation to all of you. Please visit India and join us on our journey to Prime Minister's vision of a Viksit Bharat, or a developed India, by 2047. And since I stand here with you at Germany's automotive hub, I should point out that by 2047, we aim to become the second largest automotive producers in the world, with an annual production of close to 200 million vehicles. As the famous German-Swiss poet and Nobel laureate Hermann Hesse said, "Man muss das Unmögliche versuchen, das Mögliche zu erreichen." In English, it means you have to try the impossible to achieve the possible. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of TV9 Network, FARB Stuttgart, and the state of Baden-Württemberg, I welcome you once again to the second edition of News9 Global Summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that opening address, Barunji. Thank you for that. And with that, without any further ado, again, we have a long packed day ahead of us. It's time for our first ministerial address of the day. It's a keynote on 25 years of strategic partnership between India and Germany. News9 Global Summit essentially is a celebration of those 25 years of strategic partnership. And this keynote is by a leading voice in German politics, who has played a key role in shaping Germany's foreign, security, and European policy. Decades of public service behind him, and he stands at the forefront of debates in Germany's role in a changing world. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Germany's Federal Minister for Foreign Affairs, Mr. Johann David Wadephol. Take a look.
In a world of shifting alliances, where conflicts test stability and cooperation defines resilience, diplomacy becomes the most powerful tool. Germany stands at the heart of Europe, a voice of stability, a force for dialogue, and a partner shaping the new global order. At the forefront of this vision is Germany's Minister of Foreign Affairs, a leader committed to dialogue, diplomacy, and building stronger bridges between India and Germany. Please welcome, joining us virtually, Germany's Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Excellencies, dear participants of the News9 Global Summit. This year we are celebrating remarkable milestones of the bilateral relationship between Germany and India. 25 years of strategic partnership, over 50 years of scientific cooperation, and almost 60 years of cultural agreements. These anniversaries are more than mere numbers. They are a testament to our deep and multi-layered cooperation that has grown stronger over decades and is yet to be further intensified. When we started our strategic partnership back in 2000, the world looked completely different. The internet was in its infancy. Global politics was still adjusting to the end of the Cold War. The Berlin Wall had fallen just a decade earlier, and India's economic reforms of the 1990s began to bear fruit. Back then, our economic ties are only beginning to take shape. But there was already a strong sense that Germany and India were natural partners. Germany with its technological expertise and industrial backbone, and India with its entrepreneurial energy, fast-growing market, and dynamic young people. Today, 25 years later, that early instinct has become a powerful reality. India offers German companies unparalleled opportunities for growth thanks to its vast talent pool and a rapidly growing economy. Meanwhile, Germany's technology and innovation have supported India in areas ranging from renewable energy to infrastructure development. Today, our economic ties are stronger than ever. Germany has become India's largest trading partner in the European Union, and India is Germany's most important partner in South Asia. German-Indian trade volume was already 31 billion euro last year. Why don't we jointly create the conditions to double that? The upcoming free trade agreement between the EU and India will further boost our economic relations. However, our relationship is not just about beneficial impact on our economies. It is also based on a shared commitment to democracy, human rights, and sustainability. This is why we are working together in multilateral fora to address global challenges. And this is also why we are considerably expanding our areas of cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have already achieved a great deal together. Nonetheless, we are facing a multitude of geopolitical challenges. In times of regional conflicts, shifting power balances, global supply chain disruptions, and a rapid digital transformation, it is more important than ever to maintain and enhance stable and reliable partnerships. Not only in one's own neighborhood, but more than ever, partners across continents. Therefore, it was very important to me to receive my Indian counterpart, Foreign Minister Jaishankar, in Berlin and to travel to India shortly after having taken office. Because I wanted to feel our partnership in action. I wanted to see where we are already doing well and where we can further strengthen our relations. And I'm being completely honest when I say I was very impressed by India's liveliness and dynamism. Whether in Bangalore's tech hubs, in the mission control rooms of India's space agency, in Delhi's policy dialogues, or at the Goethe Institute, I was welcomed by a very dynamic Indian society full of innovation, optimism, and a deep commitment to cooperation, apart from the flattering fact that a journalist called me Mr. Wonderful. In my conversations with Prime Minister Modi, my esteemed colleague Foreign Minister Jaishankar, and Minister of Commerce and Industry Goyal have confirmed my belief our countries are committed to jointly uphold a rules-based international order and to further deepen our cooperation in skilled migration, energy transition, digitalization, as well as security and defense. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is changing faster than ever before, but I have no doubt that India and Germany will tackle these challenging times together. Let us deepen our partner and friendship with mutual respect, ambition, and a shared commitment to progress. There is to inspiring and fruitful exchange, to exciting encounters, and to the next 25 years of strategic partnership between India and Germany. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Johann Wadiful, for taking time out to be with us over here. We're going to be quickly moving on to the next item, or the next speech. Very important one. A very special guest joining us on a very special day for her as well. But before that, before we invite that special person on stage, I'm going to invite Mr. Ruben Kasper to give the welcome from 4FB Stuttgart's side for the News9 Global Summit Germany Edition 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Ruben Kasper.
Ladies and gentlemen, our honored guests, our Excellency Minister Samant, our Excellency Ambassador Gupte, Minister Thakur, our Excellency Minister Hofmeister Kraut, whose birthday is today, which is an which is an incredibly strong commitment and honor having you here today. I'm not sure if I would be here on my birthday, but I think we will have a little present for you later on, but thanks again for being here and congratulations. Such as my dear friend Barun Dash and esteemed partners and friends from India and Germany. Welcome to Baden-Württemberg, welcome to Stuttgart, welcome to VfB Stuttgart, and welcome to the News9 Global Summit. It is both an honor and privilege to stand in front of you today at the News9 Global Summit, the second edition here in Germany and the second edition here in Stuttgart. A city known not only for its cars, engineering excellency and innovation, but also for its deep cultural heritage and the love for football. Today we gather in a MHP arena, the home of our wonderful football club VfB Stuttgart. While this space is normally filled with the energy of 60,000 fans every match day, the next 2 days this hosts something similarly dynamic. The shared aspiration and ambitions of two nations whose collaborations holds boundless potential. And therefore, the right people are here together at the right place. A place with a breathtaking view on the grave chapel of our Queen, Katharina von Württemberg, on the top of the wonderful Swaben vineyards, which are right now in the fog, but you will see later on for sure. This is a place that symbolizes reflection, legacy, and vision. It's the perfect setting for a summit that looks ahead to the future while honoring the strength and our history and shared journey until today. This year's theme, Democracy, Demography, Development, the India-Germany Connect, could not be more timely or relevant than these days of geopolitical uncertainties, and speaks to the heart of what brings us together. As India and Germany celebrate 25 years of strategic partnership, we are not just here for marking a milestone, we are shaping a new chapter. A chapter defined by resilient global leadership, state-to-state collaboration, and industry-driven innovation. It is a relationship rooted on shared values, innovation, sustainability, development for society, and the desire to make a meaningful global impact. From Berlin to Delhi, from Stuttgart to Mumbai, our businesses and institutions are crafting solutions that define and are important for the future. With what we are proving that the fusion of Indian ingenuity and German precision creates a partnership like no other. Not only on a national level, but also through regional alliances like Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra, whose cooperation has become a role model for bottom-up diplomacy in a multipolar world. As Chief Marketing and Sales Officer of VfB Stuttgart, I see every day how sport can be a bridge. Football teaches teamwork, strategy, resilience, and the principles of performance. Values that are just as vital in diplomacy and economic cooperation. Many people will ask themselves why we as a football club engage so deeply into a global summit and bilateral relations with India. The answer is because we are more than just a football club. We are a strong platform bringing networks together and being an engine for culture and business in our region and beyond. And because we know how strong sport can build bridges between people, states, and businesses. That football, much like business, goes beyond borders. It brings people together of different cultures, unites them with shared goals, and fosters a sense of community. Similarly, the Indo-German partnership is not just about profit margins. It's about progress that uplifts societies on both sides. and because in Germany we believe in India and the potential of the Indo-German relationship. As we engage in dialogue today, I encourage all of us to think beyond borders and sectors. Let us explore how we can deepen our ties, because true progress is measured not only in economic growth, but in the bridges we build between each other. In closing, I extend my deepest gratitude to our co-organizers, especially Barun Dash and State Secretary Florian Hassler, to all speakers and visionaries, such as sponsors and partners who made this summit possible. Welcome once again to Stuttgart and our wonderful MHP arena. Let us make this summit a celebration of collaboration and a launchpad for a brighter, more connected future. Vielen Dank, Dhanyavad, thank you.
Thank you, Ruben, for that. Let's take a moment to, to realize the fact that we're here at the iconic MHP Arena in Stuttgart, the home of football in Baden-Württemberg, the home of 4FB Stuttgart. Thank you, Ruben, for being the co-host for that. And now with that, without any further ado, moving on to the special address I was talking about. India is the world's largest democracy, and Germany is Europe's biggest economy till date, despite everything. And they share a very special relationship. And it's time now for a very special address on India and Germany, the land beckons, by someone who champions industry, entrepreneurship, and international collaboration, with a focus on strengthening small and medium-sized enterprises, advancing digitization, and promoting sustainable growth. She plays a key role in positioning Baden-Württemberg as one of Europe's most dynamic economic regions. Take a look at this first.
Germany has long been known as the land of innovation, of advanced manufacturing, engineering excellence, and sustainable industrial development. For India, now one of the fastest growing economies in the world, the German opportunity is both strategic and transformative. At the heart of this partnership is Baden-Württemberg, Germany's industrial powerhouse and Europe's innovation hub. Today, it opens its doors wider, inviting India to co-create value in a changing global order. Please welcome Minister of Labor, Economy and Tourism, Baden-Württemberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Nicole Hofmeister. Crowd, please take the stage. All yours, man.
So thank you very much for spending time with me on my special day, on my birthday. So, dear Honorable Minister Samant, dear Mr. Virmani, dear Mr. Thakur, dear Honorable Ambassador Gupte, dear Mr. Das, dear Mr. Kaspar, dear Honorable Consul Mr. Lapp, and a very warm welcome to my colleague from the Baden-Württemberg Parliament, dear Dr. Erik Schweigert. Dear guests from India and Germany, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Das, for your warm, welcoming words. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today at the second edition of the News9 Global Summit Germany here in Stuttgart, a city that stands for inspiration, innovation, and internationality. Indeed, the land, how we call Baden-Württemberg, beckons as a vibrant hub of progress where tradition meets culture, where technology and open-mindedness is crucial. We come here together at a time when the world feels less predictable than ever before. Uncertainty in global markets, political tensions, and the need for sustainable solutions remind us that partnerships across borders are not only valuable, they are vital. That is why today's summit theme, democracy, demography and development, the India-Germany Connect couldn't be more relevant. It captures what we need in these times: strong partnerships, a shared path, and new impulses. And here in Baden-Württemberg, we are eager and ready to take up this challenge and deepen our ties. In recent years, India has increasingly come into the spotlight of world affairs. It's currently not only the most populous country in the world, but also one of the fastest growing economies. With an average age of 28.4 years, a rapidly growing middle class, and a dynamic industrial base, India offers enormous potential as a trading partner. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to lead a delegation to India in New Delhi, Pune, and Mumbai with representatives from business, politics, academia, and associations. They were experienced firsthand the vibrancy of India's economy and openness for cooperation. A free trade agreement between the European Union and India would take this to the next level. Such an agreement would strengthen trust, reduce barriers, and open new doors for business on both sides. Our global network and the spirit of partnership, I think it will be able to successfully tackle the current challenges in our world. And this is why I welcome all ongoing efforts to bring this agreement forward. Few places in Europe embody technological progress as strongly as Stuttgart and Baden-Württemberg do. We are home to world-renowned global players, innovative small and medium-sized enterprises, and leading research institutions. Our industries, from mechanical engineering to automotive and medical technology sectors, are deeply rooted but always looking forward. This secures our prosperity but also requires strong international partnerships. Our bilateral economic relations with India are precisely that. With approximately 350 companies active in India and 50 Indian companies in Baden-Württemberg, our region is an important investment partner of India. Among the best-known investors from Baden-Württemberg in India are the Mercedes-Benz Group, Robert Bosch, and Lab Cables. In 2024, the trading volume between Baden-Württemberg and India amounted to 4.2 billion euros, consisting of, among other things, trade in machinery, electrical equipment, and motor vehicles. India is therefore a valuable partner for us, which goes far beyond its economic importance and is rooted in many years of partnership at state and city levels. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the partnership between Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra. Long-standing city partnerships between cities such as Stuttgart and Mumbai or Karlsruhe and Pune further underline the depths of our cooperation. On this basis, we work together in aspects like skilled labor migration and vocational training. A milestone in this regard was the Memorandum of Understanding signed in February 2024 between Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra, which lays the foundation for even closer collaboration in these areas. The land beckons Indian partners to expand these connections further, creating sustainable growth and innovation together. Today's summit is once again organized in partnership with VfB Stuttgart, a club that itself is building a strong partnership with India through sport. During my trip to India, I had the pleasure to visiting the Sudeva Delhi, a football club with whom the VfB Stuttgart has launched a youth partnership for cooperation between young talents, including training camps and tournaments for young players. Here, sport is much more than a competition. It builds a bridge between countries, between cultures and people, resulting in exchange, understanding and lasting partnership. This sporting link illustrates how diverse our relations already are and how we can further deepen the friendship between our countries through exchange in different fields, be it business, culture, or through the universal language of sport. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let me close by returning to the summit theme: democracy, demography, and development. Democracy gives us the values we stand for. Demography gives us the energy and talent to shape the future. Development shows us the path of partnership we walk together. As we move forward, let's remember the land beckons all of us to seize these opportunities to innovate, to collaborate, and to grow stronger together. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I firmly believe that a strong connection between India and Germany will help us all to shape a successful common future. I look forward to seeing this relationship grow and wish us all inspiring discussions, fruitful encounters, and long-lasting partnerships. A very warm welcome to all of you to Baden-Württemberg.
Dr. Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut, requesting you to please stay on stage, Dr. Kraut. All right, one second, requesting Dr. Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut to please come on stage, requesting Barun Das ji and Ruben Kasper to please come on stage. It is Dr. Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut's birthday. We have a very special presentation for her. So I'm going to ask people backstage to bring us the shawl, and we have something very special as a birthday gift for you from our side. Yes, I'm going to invite Shri Santosh ji as well to please come on stage. It's very important. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Dr. Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut and a very happy birthday. That's right. That is the special gift from our side, requesting Dr. Hofmeister-Kraut to please open it. There you go. It's a wonderful portrait. And the man, Mr. Shri Santosh ji, is the one who made this portrait for her as her birthday gift. Varun ji, please.
Well, the credit goes to Santosh, obviously, is my colleague. Santosh, he's drawn it. I think 2 nights before we started off for Germany, he stayed up and drew this picture. Dr. Nicole Hofmeister. So what I was telling Dr. Hofmeister is Santosh has stayed up 2 nights before he started off for Germany to draw this. He drew this wonderful thing over 2 nights. But I would like to request some of the special guests to come on stage and join us for this photo ops with this for this special occasion. I think Minister Uday Samant, please come on stage. Mr. Anurag Thakur, Ambassador Gupte, Mr. Andreas Lab, please. Honorable CG, please.
Requesting Dr. Arvind Vermani to please come on stage as well. Dr. Arvind Vermani, please come on stage. 1 second. All the shutterbugs, Dr. Arvind Vermani as well on stage. Thank you so much, sir. Dear Nicole, Happy birthday to you. Woo! Woo! Thank you, Ruben. All right, requesting all of you to please. Requesting all of you to please take the stage, to please sit down. All right, moving on, it's time now for our next address. It's a keynote address on the main theme of this year's News9 Global Summit Germany edition: Democracy, Demography, Development, the India-Germany Connect. That is going to be the theme of the next keynote address, and we have a very special person, another very special person giving that address. As Germany and India deepen their economic ties, his work is what Europe has to say. Time now for what India has to say, and leading India's economic integration and talking about the force behind the landmark trade agreements between India and Germany, between Baden-Württemberg and the state of Maharashtra. It's time now to invite somebody very special. Well, we have honor to introduce Minister of State for Europe, Gunther Kirschbaum. Take a look.
In an age when borders blur and power shifts, three forces decide the world's future: democracy, demography, development. India, the world's largest democracy. Germany, Europe's industrial core. Two nations shaping policies, populations, and progress for a shared century. At the heart of this dialogue is a European statesman, a voice for stability, inclusion, and a united future. Minister of State for Europe at Germany's Foreign Office. Please welcome Minister of State for Europe at the German Foreign Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Mr. Gunther Kirschbaum, who is joining us live as we speak. Mr. Kirschbaum, all yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the nice introduction and especially for the invitation. And dear Excellencies, Ministers, colleagues, and also members of Parliament, dear guests of honor, I'm very grateful and also pleased that I'm here, part of your conference. And of course, I accepted immediately when Florian Hasler asked me to join this important summit, because you should know the economic heart of Germany is beating in Baden-Württemberg. And I can say it not only as somebody who is coming from the state of Baden-Württemberg, but also as a supporter of the VfB Stuttgart. And VfB Stuttgart is a very, very important team, also in the so-called Bundesliga and our league. And we look for the competition in Germany as Stuttgart, but also in the world when we talk today about the Indian and German relations, and especially the economic relations. But allow me first to congratulate Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut, because we know each other since a very long time. And dear Nicole, all the best to your birthday, and especially for all the upcoming events which we have to focus in the next time, especially in Baden-Württemberg, when I look also on the elections. And this is part of the democracy, of course. Well, let me make a few introductory remarks. Yes, you are right. We are negotiating at the moment about a free trade agreement, and we need more free trade agreements in the world. As Germany, especially as Baden-Württemberg, but also India will benefit from it. Why? I give you a short example. We are living here in the European Union, And European means we are living in a single market without tariffs, without borders, free movement of persons, free movement of goods. And this is a huge advantage. Also, it has shown an impact on our economic growth in the past. And we believe that it is also necessary to diversify more from China. It is not necessary and also not our intention to become independent from China. But to diversify more makes sense. So we are negotiating on the one hand with the so-called ASEAN states with different approaches, but India is key. India is not only the most important state on the world looking on its population. It is a growing market, and it is not only a growing market, it has importance in science, in education, in AI, and especially when I look on the cooperation between our universities in India, but also in Baden-Württemberg and Germany-wide, we see that especially here we have a development and a future and a potential which is necessary that we use it. So let me give you only a few figures. 60,000 people young people from India, students, are doing their studies in Germany. It's a huge potential because each student is a bridge between our nations. I could describe you the economic development, which Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut already did. I could describe you what important subjects when we look also on sustainability, when we look also on our protection of environment. These are issues which have an importance for Germany, but also for European Union and also for India. So the potential is a very, very high one. When I look on the milestone, which would be this agreement, this free trade agreement between our two nations, it is also necessary to give a clear answer where we have our humbling stones. And let me say, with a clear willingness and with compromises, it is possible to achieve the goal to negotiate till the end of the year and to find a very, very crucial agreement. So only these few remarks at the very beginning. And once again, congratulations to your conference. Congratulations also to everybody who is engaged in India-German relationship and improving it day for day. And we as a Foreign Affairs Ministry, we are supporting it. And also our Foreign Affairs Minister, Johan Wadefull, recently visited India. And this is not, let me say, one thing which we are doing one time in a legislature period. We will deepen this relationship, and especially our people will benefit from it. So thank you very much for the invitation, and then I'm also open for your remarks. Unfortunately, I cannot be present in Stuttgart because we have a session week in the German Bundestag. The same for Johan Wadefull. We have to guarantee also our majority in the parliament. That's very important in democracy, and especially also here. But I'm open for your questions. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Gunther, for that. Huge round of applause. Stay with us. We have some top editors at the News9 network asking some questions for you. Shri, please go ahead.
Minister Krichbaum, first of all, thank you very much for joining us this morning at the News9 Global Summit. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear it.
Good morning, Minister Krichbaum. Thank you, first of all, for joining us at the News9 Global Summit. You touched upon many important areas of collaboration between India and Germany. The one that everyone really wants to hear on is a German perspective on the India and EU FTA, the free trade agreement. From a German perspective, negotiations still going on. What are the areas where you'd like to see quick progress or maybe some sort of, I would say, a concession from India to essentially ensure that we are able to strike a deal by the end of this year or latest by early next year, Minister Kirchbaum?
As I mentioned at the very beginning, there are some obstacles, some hurdles which have to be taken. And I mentioned the automotive industry, which is a core industry for Baden-Württemberg, and not only for Baden-Württemberg, but also for Germany. And there we need a little bit more compromises, a little bit more flexibility. This is needed if we want to achieve the goal to negotiate it till the end of the year. But we have also other issues, other subjects where I'm confident, where I'm optimistic that we can find a compromise. So work protection, labor protection is one issue of it. But also what I described with a few words with the protection of environment. This is an important point here in Germany. I know very well that nations have different approaches. And also we have to show our ability to find compromises. A general remark to the free trade agreements. I could observe it in the states I mentioned before with ASEAN. It concerns Thailand, with which we are negotiating at the moment. It concerns also other states. Also the free trade agreements became in the last time a moving target. So we as European Union, we have to be aware, we have to be carefully not to overload it. Otherwise it will be rather complicated to find quick decisions and quick success. This is an important task for us, to reflect it, because I could give you one example. I mentioned that we have already a lot of free trade agreements worldwide. But with the standard we have today, some of these states with which we have already a FTA could not fulfill the criteria today. So we have to reflect it, we have to look in the mirror. That also Germany and also the European partners should not overload it. Finally, and this is a very special point, I am in favor to make only EU-only agreement. What does it mean? Sometimes we have mixed agreement, and mixed agreements ask for ratification in each single member state of European Union. This is rather complicated and became rather complicated today. So if we have an EU-only agreement finally, then the European Parliament itself can decide about it. There we have to be carefully as Europeans. So you see, both sides are asked to find compromises, and but I'm confident with a clear willing and this clear perspective we are able to find and to achieve this goal till the end of the year.
Minister Kirchbaum, thank you so much for that detailed answer. And yes, we are all hoping that the India-EU FTA will indeed happen by end of this year. I want to ask you something else, Minister Kirchbaum, and that's something that you referred to in your opening address as well, that 60,000 students, Indian students, study in Germany. My question to you now is, sir, that with Germany easing study visa norms for India, how do we now ensure that cross-border innovation also takes off? Your view, sir.
It's an important, very important point. We enlarge our capacities because also the demand of visa increased enormously. It is one obstacle for a lot of people worldwide which want to come to Germany to work here. But we are not already prepared for it. So the new government, Johann Wadefuhl, and also me in my responsibility, we are now in favor to accelerate the process in general. Here in Germany, it means also to use AI for the application, for the decision about the applications of visa, and we have to enlarge the capacities, especially also in India. So that means we have our homework to do. It concerns not only the students, but also engineers, what we need in Baden-Württemberg, what we need in Germany. So a very, very important point, and I think also on this subject, I'm confident and I'm optimistic that the situation will improve, but we have to become faster. And why? Because we, Germans, we compete with the rest of the world. Indian people, sorry, I talked too much this morning. Indian people are very good skilled and they speak English. You proved it in an impressive way. They speak English but not German. So they have first to learn German, and second, we compete with Great Britain, we compete with the United States, we compete with a lot of other markets. But there we have not this hurdle with the different languages. Somebody coming from India, he can work immediately in the United States. And we should know as Germans that we have to improve. We have to improve in our structures, and we have to be attractive in the best sense. So that means to offer also integration measures in Germany, because a good skilled engineer, for example, or medicine or something else, he will make a difference and he will compare the conditions in the world. And if another country will make a better offer, he will go there. So we are not the best in the world. We have to fight for. And this is not realized in a lot of heads in our country.
Minister, a lot of students will be very happy to know that. They are extremely excited to come to Germany as an alternative destination. I'm Shweta Kothari. My question to you, sir, is how can India and Europe work together closely so that their economic and political interests align going forward?
Well, the FTA is the perfect basic for it. So that means when we are really able, with the compromises which are needed, but if we are really able to achieve it till the end of the year, that would be a game changer, a real game changer in a new chapter in our cooperation, economically or bringing people together, B2B business, and so on, and so on, and so on. So I think there we have to concentrate now, but you mentioned all those, also the students. We are open as a country for students, we are open as a country for good skilled people, and we need them. So Germany has also to show that we are inviting these people and that we are open for it. So let me say, this is the core challenge also for our country. And then, of course, finally, good working conditions, the salary has to be good, and so on and so on. This is not necessary to explain it to you, because this you know as well as me, how important it is also to look for good conditions in general. But finally, I speak what our country has to do, and there I think it is would be a perfect basic to deepen it. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, also looking what we can do as a closer cooperation in science, in research, in AI, and so on. This is all under, let me say, the parenthesis of innovation. And this innovation is connecting point between our countries, between India and also Germany. So we have a lot to do, a lot of things remain to be done, I'm quite sure about it. But anyway, I think we have very, very good potential. And finally, because the times are not easy, we have a war in Ukraine and this awful attack what Russia did. But in defense, we can also cooperate. At the moment, it's a core question in Germany, how we can guarantee the safety and the security, internal but also external, for Germany and the European Union. And the safety and the defense capacity became much more important than in the last 5 or 10 or 20 years. The challenge which we have, because we are threatened by Russia, and this has to be mentioned very, very clear, this is something where we have to cooperate more intensive than in the past. And in this very point, I see also differences between our two countries. We cannot agree in European Union that countries are buying oil from Russia because at the same moment they are giving the money to Mr. Putin to finance the attack against Ukraine. And this attack is against all the international law and will never be accepted by Germany, will never be accepted by European Union, because this war is, if it becomes a rule in the new world politics, then we are back in the first half of the last century. So war can never be accepted as a tool in politics. And this lesson Mr. Putin has to learn. So there I see also differences and different approaches between our two countries, because we don't want to finance any longer the war for Mr. Putin in buying his energy. But as I told you, this gives new chances also for India on hydrogen alliance and tube, which have to be built and connected India, Middle East and Europe. So these are the perspectives we need in the future, and also the chances which have to be used.
All right, we will leave it at that. Mr. Gunther Kirschbaum, huge round of applause for Mr. Kirschbaum. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out to join us here live on News9 Global Summit. We will let you go with that. Thank you so much for being with us here. And
you're welcome. Thank you very much. And I wish you the best and biggest success which is possible. Thank you so much, and have a good conference and a good meeting, and also the connections over the day. That means stay connected, be connected also in the future. It's worthy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Danke schön. Auf Wiedersehen. All right, right. So much talk of economics. Let's face it, Europe's biggest economy. I can't keep reinforcing that enough. And the world's largest democracy. It's always important to talk about economics. When you talk about India and Germany, India and Europe, all the focus is on that all-important EU FTA, or the European Union Free Trade Agreement, which is likely to be signed by the end of this year. And to talk about it more, we have somebody straight from the European Union joining us right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the European Commissioner for Trade, Mr. Maros Sefcovic.
Trade is more than numbers on a chart. It is jobs created, supply chains rebuilt, opportunities unlocked. As the world navigates new economic headwinds, India and the European Union are shaping a pact that could set the tone for global commerce. This partnership aims to cut barriers, open markets, drive green and digital transitions, and build a trade corridor of resilience and growth. Sharing this vision is a European leader steering trade policy across 27 nations and working to seal the India-EU FTA by 2025. Please welcome European Commissioner for Trade.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be a part of the News9 Global Summit, celebrating the partnership between India and Germany, as well as the European Union as a whole. This is an important event which provides a high-level platform for exchange and cooperation as we seek to boost our overall EU-India relationship. My thanks to the organizers for enabling these discussions and for inviting me to speak to you today, even if commitments elsewhere prevent me joining you in person. We are seeing growing uncertainty and unpredictability across the globe. At a time like this, it is vital that we work with like-minded partners to safeguard our prosperity and boost our resilience, which is why Europe has set out a new agenda to deepen and broaden bilateral relations with India, a key strategic partner and a true engine of the global economy. Trade is vital to this effort and a cornerstone of our economic relationship. Over the past decade, trade between our economies has soared by 90%. In 2024, we traded goods worth some 120 billion euro, making the EU India's largest trading partner ahead of the US and China. Some 2 million people are employed directly by more than 6,000 European companies active in India, which support a further 6 million jobs indirectly. An EU investment in India has almost doubled in just 5 years to 140 billion euros. Yet, we can go further, and I have been in intensive discussions with my Indian counterpart, Minister Piyush Goyal, on a groundbreaking free trade agreement. We are now maximizing our efforts to finalize negotiations by the end of the year. The goal put forward by the European Commission President von der Leyen and Prime Minister Modi. We are focusing on working together in the areas where cooperation makes sense, with the goal of putting in place a package that is economically meaningful, mutually beneficial, and brings real added value to businesses and consumers on both sides. By tackling both tariff and non-tariff barriers, we can open up new possibilities for trade and investment, while strengthening our supply chains and safeguarding open, rules-based global commerce. I have had the pleasure of traveling to India several times this year, while Minister Goyal has also visited Brussels. We have had 13 rounds of negotiations, and I want to assure you that we will do everything we can to reach finishing line by end of 2025. The Minister and I remain in frequent contacts because we know how much there is to gain for both the EU and India if we do. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Time now to continue talking about economics, and to talk more about economics, I'm going to, at this stage, bring on stage somebody who's one of the most respected economists in India. He has represented India at the International Monetary Fund. He has been the Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India, and he has one of the most illustrious careers as an economist. Before I get him on stage, take a look at this.
Trade wars redraw supply chains, tariffs tilt markets, agreements stall as economies compete for advantage. For India, Europe is not just a market, it's a growth corridor. The FTA on the table could unlock new supply chains, energize exports, and reshape the rules of global commerce. Guiding this conversation is one of India's most respected economists, member of Niti Aayog, and former Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India. A voice that has shaped fiscal policy and understands the fault lines of global trade. Please welcome member of Niti Aayog.
Let me please invite on stage Dr. Arvind Vermani. Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Dr. Arvind Vermani.
My fellow ministers, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm briefly, in one line, going to tell you what NITI means. Actually, very few people know about it, even in India. The NITI, N-I-T-I, stands for National Institution for Transforming India. We are implicitly the think tank of the Honorable Prime Minister, because he is our chairman. We have a vice chairman and 5 members, among which I am the member. With that said, I'm going to talk, I'm used to giving very long speeches, having an academic background, but I've been told 5 to 7 minutes, and then we'll have a question answer on a certain thing. So I've picked something which may be a little different and a little more interesting. I'm going to talk about two trends which are shaping the global economy and the interrelationship between them. Of course, they relate to what India and Germany should do. So one trend is country concentration of manufacturing has risen over the last 25 years, resulting in a near monopoly of manufactured goods, including rare earth metals, with attendant economic, geopolitical, and national security risks. So I'm going to show you a few graphs to show what's been happening. Global demographic changes during last 25 years, coupled with those projected over the next 25 years, will reorder the global comparative advantage in ways that aren't fully appreciated by developed countries, including, I'm afraid, Europe and Germany. Though we talk a lot about demographics, I don't think there is a true appreciation. So I will show you a graph which hopefully will stick in your mind. And finally, these changes provide a huge opportunity for EU and India to combine their relative comparative advantage and shared democratic values to jointly build supply chains. That's the key message I want to leave to you. The FTA is merely a process for doing it, in my way of looking. I hope I can bring that out for you. And these can reduce all types of risks. You're all aware of the kind of risks which are there. I'm not going to talk about individual countries creating these risks, but you all know about it. And Germany, as the center of advanced manufacturing in Europe, can play a pivotal role. So, you can put the first figure. China's share has risen since 2000 rapidly. So on the left, I have a graph which shows you the world MBA, the world manufacturing value added. On the right is the shares of world exports. And you can clearly see the blue line, which is China, and the rapid rise in China's share, which is now close to 30%. Some projections show that it could be half of the world manufacturing if nothing is done about it. So a huge concentration. We have calculated concentration indexes which have risen tremendously from around 2005 to now. Similarly, for exports, you can see the rise of China's exports. Manufacturing value added is now 1.6 times that of USA and 5 times that of Germany. Remember, at some point, Germany was way ahead. So was the US. Look at the left. The pink line is Germany and the orange is USA. So the Hafendel index is just a way we calculate concentration, has risen from about 0.08 to 0.127. It's a huge increase in concentration of world manufacturing. And similarly for exports, which has risen from about 0.05 in 2005 to 0.07 in 21. This rise in share is seen in a broad range of products, whether we look at 2-digit, 4-digit, 6-digit, and the supply chains. The concentration in simple supply chains, complex supply chains is huge. And this also creates regional and geographical risks, besides the country risk, which is obvious. Next. Next graph. Yeah. So that is the first point. The second point is relates to demographics. So you will look at these graphs. On the left there we have the working age population, which is taken from UN statistics. On the right, oh, you can't even see them. Missing. It's a black background. Okay, you can't change it. But you can see that the world share of working age population of China, EU, Japan, all the countries except India's is going to fall over the next 30 years. Actually, this graph was more interesting, but you can't even see it. Okay. There's no way to change it. Okay. So the numbers are there. You can see the minus 8.4 for China. Then you can see minus 2, etc. There should be a bar there. Everybody else is negative. Only India is positive. Okay. So that's the huge change in global demographics and working labor force. Okay. which is underway now. It has been happening, but it's going to accelerate. Next graph. They're all inappropriate. Okay, we got some nice colors there. So, so this is the comparative advantage. Okay, so usually people think of low-skilled, low-educated labor. So what I'm showing here is projections of the school-educated and the college-educated share of the workforce. Okay, and again you can see EU is negative, Japan is negative, Russia, South Korea, USA is slightly positive, UK is marginally positive, and the middle-income countries who are kind of, you could think of as our competitors, China, and look at India. A huge increase in the workforce which has school education, this is the change, and which has college education. So these are the big demographic changes which are going to happen in the next 25 years. So what are the implications? Diversification of EU, European firm supply chains from China. Because of the concentration, we don't have any option. Unless you want to be held hostage for the next 25 years, we have to diversify our supply chains. And only India is the potential partner to build deep and wide alternative supply chains. These will not only be competitive but reliable suppliers of dual use and strategic goods and services. A lot of talk these days about German, Indian and other cooperation in defense manufacturing, repairs, maintenance. Absolutely. Very, very important factor is going to be in the next 25 years. And of course, these can be accelerated by the FTA. But I think the imperatives are very, very clear. They arise from the concentration of manufacturing in one country and the fact that the demographics tell you the only alternative. Finally, to summarize, global demographic changes provide an opportunity to combine Europe's comparative advantage in technology and India's comparative advantage in human resources for mutual gain. This is something I've been convinced about for a long, long time. And I'm very happy that I think now this is universally accepted in India. It was not so some years ago when I was not in government. These can be used in the next decade and a half to jointly build competitive supply chains. I re-emphasize this, which reduce global concentration of manufacturing and reduce the risk of economic, geopolitical, and national security disruptions. Each one of these is very important, given the huge uncertainty. As I said, I don't want to talk about where the uncertainty is coming, but everybody knows it. Germany, as the center of manufacturing supply chains in EU, will provide a pivotal role. Of course, FTA is focused on facilitating manufacturing supply chains is very, very important for this purpose, this particular. That doesn't mean the others are not important for services, for AI, etc., because I've not had time to talk about those, which I can if there are questions. But followed by a SEPA, which covers services, investment, other things. It will facilitate, again, the process. Joint measures and so on. So let me end with a little story. I've been visiting, in the last couple of months, I've visited like 20 units across the country. Some of these were German companies, some were JVs. And please don't take this as a criticism, but I have found there is still a hesitancy to think of India in expanding these supply chains, where I could see that we are completely competitive. Okay, so companies, just to make it concrete, who have suppliers, let's say, over 20 countries, but certain elements which the Indian companies are supplying and which they could double and triple and quadruple in supply competitively, that step is not being taken because there are some other manufacturing units somewhere else doing it. But the competitive location now is India. And let me tell you, I have seen some amazing small, of course we are all very knowledgeable or know your Mittelstand, excellent technology. But there are now small companies arising. One of them I went to quite recently, 2 weeks ago, where they are 100% export-oriented unit. But that's not the key thing. that gentleman has made the entire machinery and the tooling for that factory by himself. Okay? He's created that system. So they're very innovative companies there. With that, let me end. And I think somebody is going to, there, my friend there is going to moderate.
Dr. Virmani, thank you so much, and excellent data presented by you. If I may just begin by asking you, sir, why the numbers, the second and the third slide that you showed, were absolutely positive in favor of India. We are talking about education levels, and we are talking about labor force participation. How long, sir, before the first graph also starts accelerating in favor of India?
Well, that is one of the challenges. That's why I mentioned the think tank. That is the kind of job I have, which is why, as I said, I've been visiting. But let me tell you, again, something you have been talking about since yesterday, I've heard you. But one of our main areas where we are somewhat weak is in job skilling. And again, Germany can play a huge role. And when every time I discuss skilling, which again is part of my mandate in a way. And I've visited like 15 different skilling centers, but there's a huge gap. And again, I think we can learn a lot from Germany. Maybe I would invite, now things are very open, all kinds of skilling issues, apprenticeship. We've modified the Apprenticeship Act. We've done a whole bunch of reforms, but we don't still have that ecosystem, you could call it, which can do this transfer from the education to the skill, the job skilling. I think that's an important gap which we are trying to fill.
All right, absolutely. I think skilling is definitely on the government's agenda as well, sir. I want to also ask you at this point that the India-Germany partnership and the India-EU FTA, a lot of that, again, something you mentioned in your speech, also happens to do with decoupling from China. Now, how do we convince our partners here in Germany and in rest of Europe that there are shining examples in India as well, and there are enough and more case studies that tell us that China plus one is indeed possible?
See, I hesitate to frame it as decoupling. I think what we really need, given the challenge of concentration, is diversification and competitive supply chains. So the way I frame it is we can build competitive supply chains. Again, I have seen many areas where our costing is by ourselves, our own companies, is 20 to 30% off from China. But I feel that if we can build the scale, again in cooperation with German and EU companies, we can close that 20% gap. So the idea is not just to shift companies for political or geopolitical reasons, but also for economic reasons. The opportunity is there, competition will benefit everybody. And so that is how I would look at it and try to convince people. It is possible. It's very possible. You may say we can buy something for 30% right now cheaper than India. But if we make the joint effort, I think within 5 years or less, we can be equally competitive.
Right, so one aspect is, of course, the Make in India aspect, where German companies, European companies would want to make capital investments to start manufacturing in India. But at the same time, we also have a large consumer base. So whether or not you make in India, selling in India to the large consumer base has got to be profitable for European companies. And just to give an example, sir, you were giving numbers. From what I read, Mercedes-Benz, a Stuttgart-based company, a luxury car maker, a German enterprise, sold one car every 6 minutes during the Navratri festive season. One car every 6 minutes is a record, sir. So talk to us about the consumer base, the vibrant consumer base that India has to offer.
Right. Okay, I guess Mr. Thakur and others will also talk a little bit about that, the demand side. But let me just give you a few examples. There are still too many people in India who think of poverty. Well, poverty, as we talked about it in the World Bank, I worked in the World Bank like 50 or 30 years ago.
And the definitions are, you never come to consensus with the definition.
No, they are international definitions. The problem is every time we meet a milestone, they change the definition.
Exactly.
So that's a different thing. But the World Bank definition of absolute poverty, there are no poor left in India. Even according to a kind of more rigorous, you could say, for a middle income country definition, now it's down to less than 15%, what you might think of as a vulnerable population. So the middle class is definitely, according to all the projections we have, expanding. But you know, I also I talk to the Japanese, for example. You know, some of them give up. You got to compete. I mean, if you think you can go into India and you'll be easily get all the market, it's not so. But of course, for German companies like Mercedes and all, it should not be a problem. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sir, if I can just also play devil's advocate, since we are in Germany, I think when we speak to some of the Mittelstand companies here, and when we speak to some of the government representatives also who are, or the chambers of commerce, I think one slight irritant that they sometimes have is the red tape in the country. Do you think that is true? And do you think as a member of Niti Aayog, we are doing enough to address ease of doing business in India?
That's a very good question. Basically, I've spent my whole life trying to remove red tape for private business. I mean, I'm a market economist. 50 years ago, I was probably one of a handful, and now there are many more. But let me tell you concrete. In the budget, there were 2 or 3 deregulatory steps, and I'll give you 2 examples. I have struggled for at least a decade or more to get income tax reform. In this budget, it was passed and approved within a month.
That's right.
So the income tax system has been simplified. Secondly, GST, which again, I have made tons of presentation to various people, I don't need to name them, and it was done within, I think, a month, if I remember.
That's right.
So lots of things happening, but besides that, all the other things people complain about, they are on our agenda. I can tell you there are 2 cabinet-level ministerial committees which have been appointed in the last month to look at a whole range of issues. There are 2 committees in Niti Aayog at a different level. Obviously, the cabinet level has to look at big things and so on. Members are ministers of state equivalent, and so on, and at the sector. So, lot of action is happening. People say you just talk about it. No, these are solid committees. They are not for the sake of just showing people that we have a committee. So we are aware there are still a lot of problems. I call it, you know, as I said, I've been at this for more than 30 years. I call it a jungle of controls, which we are hacking away at. But unfortunately, it's a jungle.
It's a jungle.
We are cutting through it, and it may take a bit of time to remove all the problems.
Right. My final question to you, sir. We are in a football stadium. Football is all about competition. May the best team win. And there are 2 teams here on this stage today, India and Germany. Sir, as per your assessment, your calculation as an economist, how long before India beats Germany as the 3rd largest economy in the world?
Well, according to my calculation, I also do a lot of data projections. So at the end of this year, our economy will be larger than Japan's in the normal US dollar terms. And within 2 years, my estimate suggests by 28, the Indian economy in dollar terms will be larger than Germany's.
2028, ladies and gentlemen, that's the final word coming in from Dr. Arvind Virmani. Dr. Virmani, pleasure having you here with us on the News9 Global Summit. If you could please stay on stage, sir.
Dr. Virmani, please stay with us on the stage. We have presentations from both sides, from the TV9 network and from VfB Stuttgart. Requesting Mr. Varun Das, if he's around, to please come on stage, sir, for the shawl presentation. And of course, Ruben, with the scarf from VfB Stuttgart. Thank you, Dr. Virmani, and thank you, Karthik, as well, and thank you, Barun, and thank you, Ruben. It's time now to not waste time anymore and keep moving on for the day. We have a very long, packed day lined up. Now, as the world navigates what we call as a global reset, India is stepping forward to lead with purpose. Now, our next speaker embodies this new dynamism, having served 5 terms as a member of parliament in India and representing India's youth and parliamentary leadership on the international stage. He's a strong voice for strategic collaboration and nation building, and he's a key figure in India's engagement with the world. Take a look.
The world is in reset mode. Supply chains rewritten, alliances tested, new leaders emerging. Amid this disruption, India is not just adapting, it is leading, with the fastest growing major economy, with resources, innovation, and resilience. Guiding this vision are leaders who understand both economy and governance, voices that represent India's strategy in the global reset. One such voice is a parliamentarian, policymaker, and national leader. Please welcome Member of Parliament and Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Coal, Mines and Steel.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Shri Anurag Thakur, sir. Requesting you to please take the stage first before we start asking you some questions. Please, first, time for your address.
Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. My greetings and namaskar on behalf of 1.4 billion people from Bharat, that is India. This place, this occasion are of great significance. We are in Germany speaking about India's role in the global reset. Germany has been a great friend of India, and our friendship has stood the rigorous test of time. So I want to use this opportunity to thank my German friends and counterparts, for together we will have to be ready for the greatest Indo-German stride. I express my heartfelt thanks to the TV9 for inviting me to participate in the third edition of News9 Global Summit. For me and all of us, TV9 is not just a news channel, it is TV Mine. TV9 has set a very high global standard of journalism. At a time when malicious campaigns or attempts are being made to propagate vindictive narratives against democratic and progressive nations like ours, TV9 has consistently championed the truth. You have your eyes on the rise of India, and you have consistently and accurately reported about India's transformative decade under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We are a democratic and inclusive society with a visionary leadership at the helm. It is a nation rediscovering its potential and redefining its role. So let me offer you some insight and opening ground on the role India playing in the new global order. Coincidentally, I had the opportunity to visit Germany February this year. We had a great length of discussion with our German counterparts over policies, electoral dynamics, parliamentary democracy, economy of both nations. And during the conversation, one of them commented that India has really pressed the refreshed button of the global order. I responded that India has not pressed the refreshed button, but India has pressed the reset button of the global order. It is no surprise that I have been invited to speak on the same topic today. From February to October, so much has happened on the global front concerning India. We have suffered a deadly and unprovoked terrorist attack on our soil in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir. The terrorist had the audacity to ask the religion before killing the innocent civilians. And you all know which nation was behind this attack. The same country which has consistently maintained its global standing as the world's sole exporter of terrorism. For decades, the global superpowers have always told us to live in peace with Pakistan and its terrorism because we can't change our neighbor. This is how terrorism has been defended at the cost of global peace, prosperity, and the lives of innocent civilians. But while we can't change our neighbor, we have certainly ensured that those who sponsor or shelter terror understand there are consequences for crossing the line. And the world had witnessed the kind of devastation India can leash upon the evils and their masters. I swear, India showed only a fraction of its military might. India will respond to any terrorist attack or hostile activity on its soil with a measured military action. And the international community has recognized and accepted this stance. I was part of the delegation sent by Prime Minister Modi to various parts of the world, and Germany to other nations. All of them expressed solidarity with India in the fight against terrorism. Sorry, world can't tolerate double standards. Two sets of definitions, two sets of prescriptions, two sets of remedies for addressing the same crime. India has effectively reset the previously convenient approach of terrorism. Today, India and the rest of the world are on the same page that terrorism in any form is a menace to the global peace and prosperity. My dear friends, a decade back, India was among the fragile 5 economies of the world, but today I can proudly say India is the 4th largest economy of the world. And soon, as Mr. Virmani said, India is going to be the 3rd largest economy of the world. With a strong and stable government enabling a robust democratic model of governance, the ever-growing consumption class, and undying spirit of enterprise, India is within its goal of being soon becoming the 3rd largest economy. India believes in the era of collaboration and convergence rather than conflict or confrontation. We are a just and equitable global trade order. We are in support of that, and we are working assiduously towards stitching the India-EU FTA. We did that recently with the UK. India cherishes its ever-growing ties with Germany at the bilateral fora and wants to showcase it as a symbol of mutual trust and growth. I am happy that News9 has scheduled this bilateral forum to celebrate 25 years of India-Germany partnership. And as they say, sky isn't the limit. And imagine how the next 25 years will plan out for both the nations, marking growth across domains, especially in the newest technologies like artificial intelligence, climate, and on the human side, skill and talent opportunities. We are steadily emerging as the world's most sought-after consumer market. Today we shine as the world's most resilient, self-reliant, diversified, growth-oriented economy that believes in empowering the last man of the socio-economic order. Our economy has 3D model: self-reliance, self-defense, and self-confidence. When the world economy was crumbling under the weight of once-in-a-century pandemic, Indian economy saw a rise. We resolved to move in a massive way to realize the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, a self-reliant and confident India. We know how to cruise our economy out of crisis while we have been a textbook case how to unite the nation under one man or one under leadership. Today, India is the 3rd largest manufacturer in the automobile sector, 2nd largest in the steel, largest milk producer, largest digital payments made, and so on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world of realities, at times harsh, often discriminatory, undeniably uneven. India has often advocated for a just global order and a level playing field for all. This is a bedrock of India's diplomacy, and we firmly believe in it. We are committed to a multilateral world trade order. Friends, India has a commitment towards Global South. Global governance is marked by deep divides and inequities. Most global challenges are created by Global South, are not created by the Global South, but they affect us the most. We, the developing nations, are compelled to shoulder the greatest cost of crises like climate change, pandemics, debt, even when our role in causing them is minimal. The time has come to reset the global templates, rewrite the global rules, rather than being the passive recipients. More than responsibility, it is a call for conscience and to be the voice of Global South. Prime Minister Modi has sought to position India as both the bridge builder and a voice of the Global South. The whole purpose is to reshape the global governance and to be more inclusive of priorities of developing nations. We are not only advancing economic growth, digital empowerment, socio-economic infrastructure at home, but we are also extending our help and support to the nations of the Global South. This is not a statement of intent, but a record of concrete action. The voice of Global South is the voice of India. The priorities of the Global South are the priorities of India. India has undertaken more than 600 development projects in 78 Global South countries, and we are more inclusive than exclusive. My dear friends, in the field of clean and green technology, India has taken a leading role, implementing numerous decisive actions and innovative solutions. We believe there should be synergy among energy, economy, and ecology. In this way, we can reduce the carbon footprint and increase the green footprint. We have repeatedly urged the developing nation, we have repeatedly urged the developed nation to cut down or reduce their carbon footprint by 2050. Ensuring sustainable energy along with a clean and green planet can be achieved if we could move from conventional to the non-conventional mode of energy. For this objective, Global South and Global North will have to come together. This collaboration includes democratization of technology, financial assistance to the developing and the least developed countries, which are grappling with the energy needs, energy deficiency. Today, India and Germany has mobilized global opinion about the use of renewable energy. I can name at least 4 major initiatives of global partnership initiated by India, namely International Solar Alliance, Global Biofuel Alliance, Mission Life, One Sun, One World, One Grid. Friends, India has set a target of 500 gigawatt non-fossil capacity by 2030, and we are taking every step to meet the target. I can assure you, we won't wait for 2030. We're going to achieve it much before that. Presently, our renewable energy capacity is at 250 gigawatt. Over 50% of India's installed energy capacity comes from the non-fossil fuels. We are the 4th largest in the renewable energy, 4th largest in the wind, and 3rd largest in the solar capacity. I have a 6-point action agenda for India-Germany leadership. If you allow, let me outline the practical agenda, concrete, actionable, and time-bound, so that this summit here in Stuttgart catalyzes a roadmap for delivery. Green energy and industrial decarbonization, resilient and rule-based trade, technology and supply chain partnerships, innovation, startup and research bridges, skill and vocational collaboration, climate finance and sustainable infrastructure. So let me come one by one. Green energy and industrial decarbonization. We need joint projects in green hydrogen, electrolyzer manufacturing, and industrial decarbonization can accelerate both nations' climate goals. India offers scale and demand. Germany offers technology and standards. And let us start a target for launching at least 3 pilot green hydrogen hubs, shared manufacturing partnerships by 2027. Resilient rule-based trade, tariff volatility, and ad hoc trade measures have harmed investments and jobs. We should strengthen mutual recognition of standards, deepen custom cooperation, and prioritize predictable trade rules that protect industries on both sides. A joint India-Germany Trade and Standard Forum could meet annually to monitor and resolve friction. Technology and supply chain partnership. From semiconductors to advanced materials and automotive electrification, we must move from buyer-seller relationship to a co-development, joint R&D labs, shared test beds, co-investment in fabs and component clusters. Karlsruhe and Stuttgart are ideal innovation hubs and nodes to pilot such clusters. Innovation, startup, and research bridges. We must facilitate two-way flow of talent and capital, joint incubators, exchange fellowship of PhDs, dual degree programs between our universities and applied research centers, and India-Germany Innovation Corridor would institutionalize these ties. As Mr. Vermani was saying about the education and the skilling part, I think Germany is a good model of dual education system. We have a demographic advantage. You have the dual education system which can work together, and for that skilling and vocational collaboration. Indian industry, so the industry needs skilled technicians. German dual training models can be adopted at scale in India. Let us establish vocational training partnership that certifies hundreds of thousands of young Indians in advanced manufacturing and green tech skills over the next 5 years. Last not the least, climate finance and sustainable infrastructure. We must scale blend finance solutions to de-risk green investments in emerging markets. German institutional capital, Indian demand, and multilateral co-financing can mobilize the funds required for climate resilient infrastructure and energy transitions. India today has a lot to offer to the VUCA world. Its old age calling card for peace, brotherhood, amity is a global acceptance template. India has the unique advantage of democracy, demography, diversity, digitization to offer to the world. It is an unrivaled template where at one level the civilizational dividend marries the digital prowess to aim for an inclusive growth worldwide. Yes, of course, India is ever willing to learn from the best. We believe in adopting for the best global practices for global good. The immediate case in point being the Indo-German collaboration. Our ethos stems from our core ideology of Vasudev Kutumbakam, meaning the world is one family, and we firmly believed in that. We practice it as a way of life. India is set and ready to take on the responsibility of leading in the era of disruption and reset. It is neither aligned nor non-aligned. It is committed to serving the interest of 1.4 billion people and share the learning of global good. Together we win, and together we strive for a better future for humanity at large. Thank you for the patient listening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Sir, requesting you to please take the stool, bar stool, so that we can have the Q&A session with Shri. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Thakur. I think that was a brilliant speech. You actually outlined 6 agenda points for us, which I think we will take very seriously and incorporate in the next summit. One of the questions that's going to come to mind of all the German investors who are here today, well, fine, you're calling us to do all these and partner for across various activities and sectors, but what is the incentive, or how can Indian government facilitate or incentivize them to, for example, even bring their internship or the apprenticeship program? Because once the government steps in, I think they have the comfort to put in their commitment to the thing. So how, first of all, let's address the issue of skilling, Anuragji. How can we incentivize German companies? Because that is really the need of the hour. We talked about the demographic dividend. Dr. Virmani also talked about it. How can we incentivize more skilling to happen in India?
I think it's the need of the hour.
Yeah.
I can go there.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
I think the India has the advantage of demography. Nowhere in the world you will find a population between 15 to 19 years of 400 million. Only India can offer that. Demography is the advantage. Now, as I said about Germany, dual education system is the advantage which worked well for them. We have made the changes in the policy. We also have the internship program where government is spending more than 5,000 crore rupees only for the internship with the corporate houses. Secondly, we have thousands of crore rupees earmarked, budgeted for the skilling part. Under the Prime Minister Modi government, we have a separate Ministry of Skills. So it's much easier to, have the partnership collaboration among the government to government, industry to industry. And there are so many German industries already working in India where we can take up the German language course and also the skills which can match the German standards. Before coming to Germany, they can also do some internship or work with the German factories in India for a few months or for a year rather than coming directly to Germany. This will help to bridge the gap. What is lacking in Germany? They need a young manpower for their industries. They need a young workforce. And India is the only alternative.
Right.
And as far as the industry is concerned, apart than skilling, when Prime Minister Modi took over as the Prime Minister in the year 2014, the total compliance burden from the national to the state to the municipality level used to be 63,000 compliances. Today it has been brought down to 24,000. And every month we are cutting down on the compliance burden and making much easier as far as the ease of doing business is concerned. Our ranking in the area of ease of doing business is getting better and better.
Right. A related question to that, Mr. Thakur, is the fact that India is a federal country. We are comprised of so many different states. How can we incentivize states to offer single window clearances? For example, Maharashtra, we have the industry minister sitting here with us today. We are fortunate to have him, and the chief minister will be addressing us. Maharashtra is the home to the largest FDI investment in India. So it's a state which is very, very investor friendly. How can we create more such templates in other states, not necessarily, let's say, ruled by BJP, but how do we make sure that India as one offers the same face to global investors?
I sometimes believe that Prime Minister Modi has a solution for every problem. If you look at his past speeches, he spoke about cooperative federalism and also the competitive federalism. Whereas we should cooperate as building capacities, we must compete to get more and more investment into our states. And that is why Maharashtra is here, one of the leading states of India. And a young dynamic chief minister, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, is leading it from the front. And Mumbai is the financial capital. So if you look at, we have an advantage of, on one hand, the demography, the young population. On the other hand, skills to the local market, which is of large size. The ports, a large coastal area to connect to the world. So I personally feel on one hand, the country is investing a lot. If you look at India's investment into the capital investment, it is the highest ever. And if I have to mention about, in 2014 we have 74 airports, today we have 160 airports. 2014 we have 5 cities connected with metro, today we have 21. From medical colleges from 380 to 760. Every sector you see the investment is growing. But when you talk about the industry, we need more partnership and collaboration. Standing in Germany, in Stuttgart, I would like to say, my first visit to Germany was way back in 1995, 30 years back. When as a young entrepreneur, I used to manufacture hand tools. I came here to participate in a clone hardware fair. And for many years, I used to come here and sell my products. But I've seen the change. They talked about learning German language today. At that time, they never used to speak in English. It was very difficult to communicate at that time. Today they are speaking English very fluently, the German people. So with time you need to change. We are ready to learn German language. We know how to learn languages and how to do well as an entrepreneur also. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Thakur. A big round of applause for the Minister.
Shri Anurag Thakurji, requesting to please stay on stage. Sir. Shri Anurag Thakurji, please come back on stage. And requesting Mr. Barun Das to please present him with the shawl. And of course, the jersey from 4FB Stuttgart. Nadine, please go ahead.
My birthday also comes in this month only. I think the leader is the one who has a vision, who can foresee. At least Barun should have foreseen my birthday comes also in this month.
So we still have chance to extend the summit till your birthday comes, as long as you are staying back. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Time now to quickly keep things moving. As I cannot stress upon this enough. We have a very, very, very packed day ahead of us. And time now to put the focus on a very, very special partnership between two of the most prosperous states in Germany and India. Of course, I'm talking about Baden-Württemberg and the state of Maharashtra. A partnership that has lasted a decade. And what can only be called as the perfect partnership. And it is growing stronger with every passing day. And to talk more about it, I'm going to invite somebody very special on stage. But before that, take a look at this.
Every summit begins with a voice that opens the door. A voice that frames the dialogue and sets the tone for collaboration. Baden-Württemberg, Germany's industrial heartland, a hub of innovation, sustainability, and global enterprise. Today it welcomes the world and India. At the forefront of this welcome is a leader who drives political coordination, fosters international dialogue, and champions deeper Indo-German ties. Please welcome State Secretary for Political Coordination, Europe and International Affairs, State Ministry of Baden-Württemberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Herr Florian Hassler. Sir, all yours. Thank you, please.
Excellencies, Honorable Minister Samant, Ambassador Gupte, MP Singh Thakur, thank you very much for this inspiring speech. I also welcome State Councillor Kaspar Sutter from our neighbor country, Switzerland, Consul General Sina, dear Mr. Barun Das and dear Mr. Ruben Kaspar, thank you so much for bringing this summit again to Stuttgart. A very warm welcome to all corporate and business leaders from India and from Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you here at the News9 Global Summit in Stuttgart. And unfortunately, our Minister President cannot be here in person today, as the Chancellor has invited him to attend the Automotive Summit in Berlin. However, he was yesterday delighted to welcome the delegation here in Stuttgart and is sending his best greetings today from Berlin. The second edition, ladies and gentlemen, of this great event makes 25 years of strategic partnership between Germany and India. It makes 10 years of sister state partnership between Baden-Württemberg and the state of Maharashtra, and a new strategic agenda that the EU has announced last month to reinforce cooperation with India. Today, reliable partnerships are more important than ever. In a world facing geopolitical challenges and global transformations driven by digitalization and climate change. And this is why policymakers, leaders, and business people come together to discuss collaboration and innovation. From India, the largest democracy in the world, and from Baden-Württemberg, Germany, and neighboring Europe. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, I think there is no better place than Baden-Württemberg for this. A true hub of industry and cutting-edge technologies, of excellent universities and research located right here in the heart of Europe and distinguished by a strong culture of hospitality. 10 years ago, we started our partnership with Maharashtra, uniting two economic powerhouses in Germany and in India. Our companies are heavily involved in India. Around 350 companies from Baden-Württemberg are already active there. At the same time, more than 50 Indian companies have come to Baden-Württemberg. I think this shows how much trust is on both sides. Our universities now almost have 100 active partnerships with India institutions, many of these located in Maharashtra. The topics covered are wide-ranging and very modern, from geoinformatics to medical research, and these projects bring our students and researchers together and prepare answers to the challenges of tomorrow. Together, we have built strong bridges in skilled labor, migration, and vocational training. Young qualified people from Maharashtra can come to Baden-Württemberg to work in various skilled trades, for example. And I think this is beneficial for both sides, for the young skilled workers and for our state. But our partnership is not just about business and science, it is also about culture. For more than 20 years, the Indian Film Festival Stuttgart has been taking place in our state capital in Stuttgart. It is the largest Indian film festival in all Europe, and the festival is a strong cultural bridge and shows how closely we are linked in the creative industries. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the Stuttgart meets Mumbai Wine Festival. For more than 20 years now, our Honorary Consul Andreas Lapp has been organizing this event in Mumbai with passion and commitment as one of the most important networking platforms between our two states. And I think these cultural events show us something very important. Cooperation is not just about numbers and contracts, it's also about meeting each other, learning from each other, and exchanging experiences. However, an anniversary is not just about the past. It is also about the future. In 2024, we have signed a new letter of intent to deepen our cooperation in the areas of labor, migration, and skills. Since then, several projects have been started, and some programs are already in stage of scaling up. Let me highlight one point that is very close to my heart. This partnership is about people. It is about students who come from or to Baden-Württemberg to study. It is about the researchers who work together on joint projects. And it is about entrepreneurs who invest time, money, and energy in new partnerships. These people are the true bridge builders. They give our partnership a face, and they give our partnership a heart. What does this 10th anniversary mean to us? It means that we are proud of what we have achieved together, and it means, Minister, that we say thank you to all our partners and to the many people who have made this cooperation possible. And it means that we make a promise to ourselves to make our partnership even stronger over the next 10 years. And we are facing together major challenges: digital transformation, geopolitical challenges, climate change, and the need for skilled workers. None of us, not Baden-Württemberg, overcomes these challenges alone. But together, with our strong partners, with our strong partnership with India, we can find solutions together and move forward with confidence. Let us, ladies and gentlemen, continue to build bridges. Let us continue to build trust, and let us continue to bring our people closer together. Thank you very much.
And of course, Mr. Hassler, please requesting you to stay on stage for the presentation of the shawl. In fact, requesting all the guests who are going to be speaking to please stay for just a minute longer after you're done with the session so that we can present the shawl as quickly as possible. Requesting Mr. Barandas to please take the stage. And yes, the jersey from 4FP Stuttgart as well. All right, thank you, Mr. Florian Hassler, from the state of Baden-Württemberg in Germany to the state of Maharashtra in India. I'm sure most of you know this. India's financial capital, Mumbai, is the capital city of the state of Maharashtra, one of the most prosperous states in India, and always been one of the top 2 contributors to India's GDP. And it's a state that's had a very special partnership with the state of Baden-Württemberg. So we heard from the state of Baden-Württemberg. It's time now to hear from the state of Maharashtra. For our next special address, before I invite the gentleman on stage, take a look at this.
Industry is more than machines. It is jobs. It is progress. It is the backbone of every economy. For Germany, industry means precision. For India, it means scale. Together, they drive growth, shape innovation, and redefine global competitiveness. And at the center of it, Maharashtra, India's growth engine. Leading this momentum is a policymaker and strategist, a leader driving India's industrial transformation and new opportunities for global business. Please welcome Government of Maharashtra.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Uday Samantji. Sir, please.
नमस्कार. सर्वप्रथम मी TV9ला मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो आणि TV9चं कौतुक देखील करतो, कारण TV9च्या माध्यमातून पुन्हा एकदा जर्मन आणि भारत हे एकत्र आणण्याचं काम TV9ने केलं, त्याबद्दल आपलं मनापासून कौतुक आणि सरकारच्या वतीने देखील आपल्याला धन्यवाद देतो.
Hello everyone. I'm grateful to TV9 for giving me this opportunity. Without TV9, it would certainly not have been possible.
And thanks TV9 for bringing Germany and India together on this platform.
आज महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा उद्योग मंत्री म्हणून स्टुटगार्टला येताना देखील मनापासूनचा आनंद आहे, कारण पुन्हा एकदा आपली पार्टनरशिप आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा चांगली करण्यासाठी आपण प्रयत्न करतोय.
As an industry minister of Maharashtra, it's an honor to come to Stuttgart.
ठीक है. Warm greeting to all dignitaries, respected officials and German partners. I am honored to be among leaders and industrialists who are committed to strengthening India and Germany ties in innovation and technology. Under our Prime Minister Narendra Ji Modi, India advancing to goal the becoming Vikasit Bharat 2047 with clear roadmap to achieve 5 trillion economy maybe in 2047. Maharashtra is the economic powerhouse of India. In terms of economic strength, Maharashtra contributes 13.5% India's GDP in year 2023 and 2024. Maharashtra continues to remain the top destinations for domestic and global investors, attracting close 31% of India's total FDI in between 2022 and 2024. Under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Ji Modi and Honorable Chief Minister Devendra Ji Fadnavis, Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Ji Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar, our government committed to developing infrastructure project. Flagship project include Samruddhi Mahamarga, Diba Patil International Airport, coastal roads, metro and smart township in Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. Under the startup ecosystem and innovation, Maharashtra leads India with 27,000 plus registered startup. Maharashtra has led India's industrial growth, innovation and investment landscape. At the World Economic Forum, Maharashtra secured 16 lakhs crore with leading global companies across sector including EVs, semiconductors, logistics, renewable energy. These key investments reflect not only investor but confidence, the starts policy, readiness and infrastructure capability. We launch our AVGC policy and GCC policy. Going forward, Maharashtra launch key policies for industrial growth. One is industrial policy, second is media and entertainment, third is renewable energy, fourth is electronics, fifth is aerospace and defense policy. Maharashtra rolls out the red carpet for investor from Germany and welcomes Germany investor with the open arms. We reaffirm our commitment to a strong and forward-looking partnership with Germany. Thank you for invitation to be part of this meaningful gathering. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra. TV9 ला पुन्हा एकदा मनापासून धन्यवाद देतो की महाराष्ट्र सरकारला आपण या ठिकाणी बोलवलं, आपल्यामध्ये सामील होण्याची संधी दिलीत. भविष्यामध्ये TV9 च्या माध्यमातून आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा जर्मनी आणि महाराष्ट्र यांचं नातं आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा मजबूत होईल अशी या कार्यक्रमाच्या निमित्तानं आशा बाळगतो.
Once again, I thank TV9 for inviting Maharashtra state government to this platform. And moving forward, I hope TV9 would take and show India, Maharashtra and Germany relation more stronger.
Thank you, Shri Uday Samant ji, for that. Requesting Mr. Barun Das to please present the shawl to Shri Uday Samant ji. And requesting for P. Stuttgart to present the jersey as well. Thank you, Shri Uday Samanji again. I'm going to also invite quickly Mr. Florian Hassler on stage and Reuven Kasper on stage so that we can present Mr. Florian Hassler with the jersey of VfB Stuttgart. And Mr. Barun Das as well to present Mr. Florian Hassler with the shawl. There you go, the perfect partnership between Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a decade of perfection in this partnership that is growing only stronger with every passing day. Here's wishing this partnership more and more prosperity. Thank you, Shri Uday Samanji, thank you, Florian Hassler, thank you, Reuven, and thank you, Barun, for that. Moving on, Barunji, stay close by, because right now we have a very special address from a very special person. We're talking about Maharashtra all the time. To introduce you to the next speaker, I'm going to invite Mr. Barun Das to please take the stage and welcome this next very special speaker. Sir, all yours.
Good morning again, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to welcome the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Sri Devendra Fadnavis ji, who is joining us from the Stuttgart's sister city, Mumbai, to address us at News9 Global Summit. Mr. Fadnavis was very keen to be here in person, but for the fact that he is hosting Honorable Prime Minister of India and Honorable Prime Minister of the UK in Mumbai today. Mr. Fadnavis is what I call, my own version is a political prodigy. He became the youngest councillor of the city of Nagpur at 21, and then the city's youngest mayor at 27, and the second youngest chief minister of Maharashtra at the age of 44. In fact, Modi ji has described Mr. Fadnavis as Nagpur's gift to Maharashtra. So if Mr. Fadnavis looks like a man in a hurry, it is because he is. He has set himself an ambitious goal of giving India's first $1 trillion state. I have no doubt that he will be able to achieve it, because as I often say, that DF is the initial of Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, which also means development focus. Without further ado, let us look at a small AV that we've created for Mr. Fadnavis. Subsequently, we would hear from him. Thank you very much.
A decade that changed the map of industrial ties. Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra, two powerhouses separated by continents, connected by ambition. In technology, mobility, and sustainable industry, these two regions have built bridges of innovation, sharing knowledge, attracting investment, shaping jobs of the future. Joining us is a leader who has steered Maharashtra's transformation, strengthened global alliances, and championed this decade-long collaboration. Please welcome, joining us virtually, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra.
Namaskar. I extend my heartiest congratulations to Barun and the entire TV9 family, VfB Stuttgart and the state of Baden-Württemberg for creating this timely and meaningful platform to deepen the India-Germany partnership. Germany, at the core of the Europe's industrial and technological prowess, has long been a trusted friend to both India and Maharashtra. Under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, this relationship has grown stronger, evolving from that of trade to that of true collaboration aimed at building the industries of the future. Whether it is green hydrogen, smart mobility, digital innovation, or skill development, our cooperation spans across sectors vital to the global economy. Germany brings engineering excellence and precision. India offers scale, youthful energy, and world-class digital infrastructure. A pivotal step in this journey is the ongoing India-EU Free Trade Agreement, which holds great promise for job creation, innovation, and resilient supply chains. With 1.9 billion people between us, this partnership could become one of the world's most significant economic bridge, with Germany playing a central role. Nowhere else could this partnership be more tangible than Maharashtra and Baden-Württemberg. Since becoming sister states in 2015, we have built a vibrant relationship rooted in opportunity, trust, and shared vision. Baden-Württemberg is a global leader in automotive and engineering innovation, while Maharashtra stands as India's industrial engine with a robust manufacturing base, a thriving service sector, and a booming startup ecosystem. Pune, often called the gateway for German investment in India, is home to 1 in every 5 German companies in the country. This is a clear reflection of our synergy. Maharashtra contributes nearly 14% to India's GDP and leads in industrial output and foreign direct investment. In 2024 alone, we attracted $20 billion in FDI, 31% of the national total, thus reaffirming our position as a top investment destination. Our investor-friendly initiatives like the Mahaparvana single window clearance system make investing smooth and transparent. German companies such as Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Volkswagen, and Siemens have made Maharashtra their Indian home, powering innovation and creating high-quality jobs. For Mumbai's financial ecosystem to our world-class industrial corridors, ports, digital infrastructure, and focus on sustainability, Maharashtra offers unmatched opportunities guided by the vision of Vikasit Bharat 2047 by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. We are determined to lead from the front. To our German friends, Maharashtra is your partner in growth and innovation and long-term success. Let us walk this path together towards a brighter, shared future. I wish the News9 Global Summit Germany a great success. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
All right. Thank you. Big thank you to the Chief Minister of the State of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, for being a part of the News9 Global Summit. We're going to continue this focus on the partnership between Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra. Maharashtra, a state known for industry and innovation, just like the state of Baden-Württemberg. And we have another representation from the state of Maharashtra. I'm going to invite some of these gentlemen to take the stage and also invite my colleague to take over this next session as well. It's called Maharashtra, where innovation meets expertise and enterprise. We have Dr. P. Anbaragan, the Industry Secretary of the state of Maharashtra. Huge round of applause for Dr. P. Anbaragan. Vanakkam, sir. Please take the stage. And we also have Mr. P. Velrasu, CEO of MIDC, requesting Mr. Velrasu to take the stage. Vanakkam, sir. Please take the stage. And we also have Mr. Upendra Kushwaha as part of the session as well. Please, huge round of applause for Mr. Upendra Kushwaha as well. Please take the stage. And I'm going to let my colleague Shweta Kothari take over from here. Shweta, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Krishna. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for three of you for taking time out. Please take your seats. We've heard a lot about Maharashtra in the last couple of hours. We heard how Maharashtra is the hub of industries, of startups, of the revolution that India has seen by the way of economic development. Also, it's the home of Mumbai, which is the financial capital of India. And do you know how rich Mumbai is? Well, it's the 12th richest city in the world, but the richest people in Mumbai have wealth over $1 trillion. Now, the volume of that money is, when you compare it to the Indian and German economy, which is about $4 to $4.5 trillion. So that's how rich Mumbai is. And what is making it rich? Let's talk about that. Dr. P. Anbalagan, what exactly is making Maharashtra stand out? Why is it a financial powerhouse? Why are people so rich there as compared to the rest of the country?
Thank you for the opportunity. So I think we have heard of a minister, also our Honorable Chief Minister. Like if we had been us like a country, we would be like 19th largest economy on a PPP terms. This is what we want to say. And secondly, unaudited numbers are like 570-80 billion is about the size of the economy. The state is going to be the first $1 trillion economy, sub-national economy for the country. This is one thing. As a legacy, Maharashtra was like home to the entrepreneurs. As a legacy, the Maharashtra advocated always the ease of doing business, and we make the investors, entrepreneurs very, very comfortable even in a foreign soil. So that is what the I would say universal selling point for the Maharashtra in the front. And Maharashtra also changes with the time. With we have 25 sectors which you look at, like we look at Stuttgart, still we dominate all the legacy sectors, but while we are also looking at all the sunrise sectors, like we have signed close to probably around $8 billion USD for a semiconductor chip, and also close to be 12.8, almost close to be for a display fab, and very dominant player for the country's defense aerospace. We contribute close to around 1/3 of weaponry for the country, and almost I would say 1/5 for the aerospace thing. So all the sectors, you need solar vapors, ingots. You look at all the sunrise sectors, the state is dominating. We are changing with the time.
All right, changing with time. I think that's the message there. P. Velarus, what are Maharashtra's policies that are aligning with the futuristic ambitions of India? So my question to you is, how are Maharashtra government policies, infra policies aligning with what we want in terms of e-mobility, a cleaner fuel? Run us through the policy developments in your career, in your course in Maharashtra.
Thank you for this question. The Honorable Chief Minister said, Maharashtra is one of the leading states in India. We always look forward to the futuristic way of doing things, and our value systems in terms of sustainability and keeping the quality controls, everything is in tune with the European standards. We have very futuristic policies covering the fuels, the semiconductors, and the energy. To talk about energy, our Chief Minister is pushing for most of the renewables. We'll be going to be, within another 2 years, we'll be one of the largest states producing maximum solar energy in our state. And not only that, we have a special policy for the EV vehicles. So some of the big EV manufacturers, they will be placed in Maharashtra. They are going to start. We signed MOUs with them in Davos. And if you look at green fuel, we have announced policies to invite people to come and set up plants in Maharashtra. So even though we are focusing on basic manufacturing, but we keep our foresight. We want to do things in a futuristic way. So we look at currently the manufacturing, but we have the sight at what is going to happen in the future also. Thank you.
I'll just add on, having spent 2.5 years with energy, look at energy transition of our state plan. So by 2030, our entire energy reckon. Today we consume around 30 gigawatt. And largest renewable footprint is already there. We have close to around 48 gigawatt of installed capacity. By 2030, 52% of our actual consumption will come from renewables. Okay. And the state will be the capital of pump storage projects, and we signed for 80 gigawatt. State can be the, I would say, the final point for the grid stability of the entire nation, and also it can be for a global grid. So
right.
that is where the state is looking at.
All right, that deserves a huge, in fact, round of applause. Maharashtra, they're standing out when it comes to green energy. Dipendra Kushwaha ji, you're working very closely for MET3 2.0. I want to understand from you, what has been the movement on ground? What's been the uptick of MET3 2.0? Run us through the project.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. As we are discussing and we are hearing about ease of doing business, deregulation, creating an environment for industry to grow faster. So our leadership, Honorable Chief Minister, taken an initiative that we should create a platform, actual single window system where each and every investor will get all kinds of help to set up their factory from the very beginning until the final functioning or manufacturing production start. So this MET3 2.0 is enabled by Act, and this Act says whatever permissions and approvals and support required to an investor will be provided by this single window system. And if any authority fails to provide that support or approval or permissions within a given time frame, then the MET3 will come into picture and will give those permission in next 7 to 15 days. So this is
So it's like a single window clearance.
It's a single window. It's a fully online. It's fully integrated, providing 120 plus services as on today with advanced features of AI and everything.
And what's the uptake?
Sorry.
How many people, how many companies, how many entrepreneurs are enrolling for it?
So now Honorable Chief Minister have made it mandatory for all the departments to provide these services to investors. So each and every company going to make an investment, going to set up their plant or running their factories are coming. So more than 44,000 applications have reached in few months time, 3-4 months time.
That's brilliant.
And we are seeing a long jump in these number of applications.
All right.
And our disposal rate is 99.9% so far.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's a brilliant trait. Before I let you go, now we've heard all good things about Maharashtra. Anybody who's been to Mumbai or Maharashtra, I think I'm going to keep it closer to my mouth. Anybody who's been to Mumbai or Maharashtra often has a grouse, and that is, the state of infrastructure, the roads, the congestion. So I have to ask you, all of you for that matter, what exactly are you doing? And I'm very short on time, so maybe 1 minute each. What are you doing to ensure that the infrastructure is resilient, given that every time during monsoons, problems are same, they're not changing?
I think I'll take this because I worked with the local self-government in Mumbai Corporation. So Mumbai, it houses about 15 million population. So there is a huge pressure to maintain upkeep the infrastructure. But if you see, in the last 5 years, we have been upgrading the road infrastructure in a big way. If you happen to visit Mumbai recently, you would see the coastal road, where there won't be any difference between Dubai or the big cities and Mumbai. And that is only the tip of the iceberg, because what we are going to do is, we are going to encircle the full Mumbai with a coastal road.
Okay.
It is going to go all the way to the north till Virar. On the eastern side also there is going to be the freeway, and the Setu which is connecting to the Navi Mumbai. So these all infrastructure projects will roll out within 5 years. Not only that, we are going to have about 35 kilometers of metro. That all will be coming into action within another 7 years. That is a plan. And not only that, Mumbai will be having soon at least 2 more airports. So yesterday was a good day where the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji, inaugurated the 3rd airport, that is Navi Mumbai Airport. And we are likely to get another airport north of Mumbai. So we will be like New York, we will be having boasting of 4 airports within Mumbai. And to add to that, we will have the 5th international airport coming up in Pune, and that will be hardly 2 hours from Mumbai. So I think in my take, within another 5 years, there will be a tipping point. You will see massive infrastructure changes in Mumbai. Currently, Mumbai is undergoing that pain of carrying out the infrastructure. So, but the people, we are grateful to the people for tolerating that. But within another 6-7 years, you'll see massive changes in Mumbai. Yeah.
Like to add on,
Right.
100 billion USD is the number which will be spent in another 3 years. And which Velu mentioned, along with this coastal road, there is like a circle crossing from Vasai Virar to Alibag, which will circumvent, which will bisect Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Delhi, Mumbai, Agra, Mumbai, Pune, Mumbai, Goa. It will circumvent that, so no need to get into the city to get into the port. That's what. And we are coming up with a Vadhavan port. It's going to be the biggest port in Asia, which will be also commissioned in 7 years.
I'll take 1 minute. As we have discussed about the port, airports, roads, metro, rail connectivity, everything we are working more than 100 billion. Yesterday only our Honorable Chief Minister, he is known as the infrastructure man, said Mumbai in 59 minutes. So from anywhere to any point of Mumbai to another point, you should reach in Mumbai, and he said that we are going to achieve by 2028. Thank
All
you.
right, that's the
That's all
timeline.
one Mumbai.
You know, okay. You know, there has to be a question on the equitable infra development as well. There are places in Maharashtra, including Vidarbha, Marathwada, that do not have enough industrial nodes or hubs. What is the government doing about
I will
it?
just take this question. Two corridors which one is already completed, like some prosperity corridor we call it, which connects like our winter capital Nagpur, the eastern part of the state, with the Mumbai. It's almost close to 720 kilometers. It will have at least minimum 15 industrial nodes on way. It caters almost 17 districts which were like interland. This is one thing which we are doing. Secondly, the similar highway, prosperity corridor, like on like access controlled highways coming, connecting Nagpur to Goa, Panjim. So the entire Maharashtra, both like I would say the central Maharashtra and the eastern Maharashtra will be connected. Secondly, the state boasts world's one of the best iron ore reserves in place called Gadchiroli. Probably in another 5 years we will be producing 30 million tons a year. Only about 10% of the steel will be produced from one district. So the entire like interland of like Gadchiroli, Chandrapur, which are part as well sometimes like I would say like a Naxalism affected area. So absolutely there is also a way in connecting with 4 lane with all the district quarters with the divisional headquarters like the big towns. So that way like state is looking into the inclusivity and our policy also. If you like add on like more than 50% of the women workforce, you get more than 10 to 20% of the incentives. That way like inclusivity is brought not only like Mumbai, Nasik or Pune, also into like other like eastern part of the state.
All right, I think with that we've come to the end of this fireside chat. Mr. Dr. An Balagan, P. Valurasu and Dipendra Singh Kushwaha, thank you very much,
Thank you so much. Thank
gentlemen,
you.
for
Thank you.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
Gentlemen, please stay on stage. Please stay on stage. As always, requesting all future speakers as well to please take a minute after you're done with their sessions. Requesting the presentation of shawl, I'm going to request Shri Barandas ji again to please take the stage to present the shawls. And requesting 4FP Stuttgart as well. Right, thank you, gentlemen from Maharashtra. Wonderful. Before we go any further, we'd like to give a warm welcome to the Chairman of the Committee of Economic Affairs, Dr. Erik Schweikert, who's with us. Dr. Erik Schweikert, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us over here as part of the News9 Global Summit. It's great to have you with us. Thank you for coming down. And now, huge round of applause for Dr. Erik Schweikert. Now, moving on, As we have known so far already, India and Germany are two great nations with not just shared goals, but shared capabilities to reach those goals as well. And we, as India's #1 news network, are proud to play a part in fostering this very special relationship at the national level and at the state levels. And hence, with that, it's time for our ambassadorial address. And for that, before I invite the gentleman on stage, take a look at this.
Every strong alliance begins with dialogue, with trust built across borders, with voices that carry nations closer. As India rises as a global growth engine and Germany leads Europe's innovation drive, their relationship grows deeper in trade, in mobility, in education, in climate action. At the heart of this relationship stands a diplomat who champions collaboration, strengthens economic and cultural ties, and carries India's voice to Germany's corridors of power. Please welcome India's ambassador to Germany.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Ajit Vinayak Gupte, sir. All yours.
Shri Uday Samanji, Minister of Industries, Mr. Barun Das, MD and CEO of TV9, and dear friends. A little less than a year ago, we were gathered in Stuttgart for the inaugural TV9 summit. It was an epoch-making event because this was one of the first times ever that such an event was organized. We then had the privilege of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving a virtual address. We also had the honor of receiving two very important cabinet ministers from India, Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia and Shri Ashwini Vaishnavji. I'm very happy to be here again with you today. A lot has happened in the last 11 months. We've had the visit of the former Chancellor Scholz to India for the 6th intergovernmental consultations. Soon after the German government took office in May this year, our External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, visited Germany from the 22nd to 24th of May. We've also had a very important parliamentary delegation visiting Germany in June in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor. They interacted with the German Parliament and with representatives of various political parties. Germany has also reciprocated. Foreign Minister Wadeful paid his first visit to India last month, and we've had the privilege of listening to him today. He visited Bangalore, as he mentioned, where he met a number of Indian companies and German companies, and he also visited Delhi. We look forward to continuing the intensified engagement between India and Germany. I would just like to briefly highlight some of the key aspects of the relationship. Germany is by far India's largest trade and investment partner in Europe. India's exports to Germany in terms of goods and services reached a record high last year of $50.3 billion US. Speakers spoke about the trade in goods amounting to $33 billion, but there is also trade in services which has crossed 17 billion. The trade in services has doubled in the last 5 years, and I think this is an indication of how much interaction there is in sectors like IT, fintech, shipping, etc. More than 2,000 German companies have invested in India. I think about 700 of them are based in Pune. Pune is known as the secret capital of Germany in India. And as this year we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the state-to-state relationship between Maharashtra and Baden-Württemberg, I think there are exciting opportunities for deepening the cooperation between Maharashtra and Baden-Württemberg. Friends, I would like to briefly narrate some of the areas where there is scope for cooperation. A lot of German companies have set up global capability centers in India. I think this is a platform where we can accelerate cooperation. India is a leader in artificial intelligence and in IT. A couple of incidents. When the Foreign Minister Vadeful visited the Mercedes-Benz Research Development Center in Bangalore, he was briefed that there are more than 9,000 software specialists working for Mercedes-Benz. And in fact, most Mercedes-Benz cars today are using software which has been developed in Bangalore. Similarly, the well-known German semiconductor company Infineon has nearly 19,000 software experts working in design centers in India. The European company NXP, which is a leader in semiconductors, has another 10 to 12,000 Indian engineers and IT experts. And in fact, they told me recently that the latest 2 nanometer chip, which is going to be built across the world, has been developed entirely in India. I increasingly find German companies doing the latest engineering design, semiconductor design, and the latest software from their operations in India. And this is a trend which is likely to gather momentum in future. What we would like to see is more German Mittelstand using Indian expertise in the IT sector. When I visit German companies, I can't help noticing more and more Indians working there. When we visited Airbus recently, they confided that there are more than 300 Indians working in Airbus. Airbus itself is sourcing a lot of components from India, and there are more than 100 Indian companies which are supplying aircraft components to Airbus. The total value of such components is over $1.4 billion. If you had followed the news, just last week, the board of Airbus visited India for the first time ever. And they called not only on the Prime Minister, but also had meetings with the Commerce Minister and External Affairs Minister. I deliberately gave you some of these examples because a lot has been spoken, but I wanted to mention some specific areas of ongoing cooperation. Friends, I am happy to say that the embassy and the 3 consulates in Germany have been working very closely with German industry, and over the last 15 months, about $5 billion of investments have been confirmed by German companies. Some of this has already been implemented, while the other investments are in the process of being implemented. India has emerged as the #1 partner country for skilled mobility. Germany is increasingly open to having Indians come in semi-skilled roles. We have, for example, butchers from Maharashtra who are working in Bavaria. We have some bus drivers who are under training in Munich. We have Deutsche Bahn recruiting train drivers. And of course, we have a large number of nurses, more than 10,000 nurses. Germany and India have been very close development partners for more than 30 years. At a time when global aid is being reduced, India and Germany remain committed to providing support for the global south. India has dedicated and provided more than 100,000 scholarships under ITEC for the last few years to countries from developing countries. And similarly, we have made commitments to projects worth $32 billion. Many of these projects have been completed and have made a decisive impact on the lives of people in developing countries, particularly in South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Africa. We look forward to continuing our cooperation with Germany in this area, particularly through triangular cooperation, that is between Germany and India working together to facilitate cooperation in the global south. We have an interesting program called the Make in India Mittelstand. Under this program, a large number of Mittelstand companies have been facilitated entry into the Indian market. I'm glad to convey that 246 companies have been facilitated with an actual investment of 2 billion euros. These companies are active in the pharmaceuticals, engineering, and logistics sector. Friends, as you know, Western Germany, particularly Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria, have been the center of industrial development, entrepreneurship, and innovation. As we look forward, I would urge companies in the area to not wait for the EU-India FTA. It is well on the road to being finalized, but do go ahead with your investments in India. India is a growing economy, one of the fastest growing economies. Enough has been said about the demographic advantage, the growing market, and the boundless opportunities. Let me once again reiterate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's comment on the bilateral relations. When India's dynamism meets Germany's precision, when Germany's engineering meets India's innovation, when Germany's technology combines with India's talent, a brighter future is envisioned for the Indo-Pacific region and the world. Friends, let us take the opportunity to redouble our efforts to ensure that the next 25 years of the India-Germany partnership are very fruitful and that we cross many new thresholds. Thank you for giving me the opportunity of speaking to you, and I'm really very delighted and grateful to TV9 for once again organizing this event, which has given an opportunity to bring together a large number of companies, decision makers, and institutions from India and Germany. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Ajit Gupta ji. Requesting to please stay on stage. Requesting Barun Das and Ruben Kasper. Gentlemen, please, for the presentation of shawl and the jersey. All right, thank you, Shri Ajit Gupta ji, and thank you, Ruben, and thank you, Barun. Quickly moving on, time now to dive deeper into that special partnership between Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra. And for that, it's time for a coach speak, as we like to call it. I'm going to invite somebody with years of expertise in building global partnerships, is passionate about fostering collaboration in everything from business, science, technology, just about everything. He plays a vital role in strengthening the presence of Baden-Württemberg internationally, not just India. But before I get that gentleman on stage, take a look at this.
Every great partnership begins with a first step. Between India and Germany, that step was forged. Between Baden-Württemberg and Maharashtra. This precursor alliance is more than geography. It is a bridge between two powerhouses. Baden-Württemberg, Europe's industrial heartland. Maharashtra, India's economic engine. At the center of this partnership is Baden-Württemberg International, and the voice that has championed Indo-German collaboration for years, steering opportunities, building networks, and opening doors. Please welcome Managing Director of Baden-Württemberg International.
Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Mr. Gunnar May. Gunnar, all yours.
Thank you very much. Especially thank you very much for putting so much pressure on me now. Being the new guy, I just started last week in this new function after spending 2 decades in the exhibition business. Well, it's my pleasure. I really like the soccer environment and the sporty language, so please allow me to do it in a very sporty way and just say hello to anybody here, to anybody involved, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to do this coach session. Maybe looking at some coaching, there is going to be some Ted Lasso moments within the next 10 minutes. And as in every good sporting exercising session, we will start with the warm-up. So please, next slide, and please hit the button for the movie.
Württemberg. Simple for people in Southwest Germany, not so simple for everybody else. Luckily, finding simple solutions is at the core of our DNA. For instance, when our Arthur Fischer was fed up with his favorite picture constantly falling off the wall, he simply revolutionized the fastening industry by inventing the dowel. Or when we had the simple idea of getting from A to B without horses, the car. Simple idea, simply revolutionary. Our inventiveness makes us the #1 innovation region in Europe. Simply put, we love inventing things like this and that and this and that and that and that, and also that. Simplicity is key, because simple ideas are the ones most likely to fly. So even for elaborate processes, we always find a simpler solution. Almost always. No wonder we're the perfect home for 35% of German world market leaders. We think that the best place to grow young talents is in your own front garden. That's why we have over 70 universities, more than 100 research institutions, Cyber Valley, and Europe's largest ecosystem for artificial intelligence, the EPI. We are Germany's sunniest state, so we simply use this advantage to power a more sustainable future. We are convinced that everything you do should be simple. This is why we even found an easier way for you to say Baden-Württemberg. Simply call us the land.
Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Well, yeah, obviously I'm here to promote Baden-Württemberg, to promote the land, representing Baden-Württemberg International as the central marketing agency of the state of Baden-Württemberg. We are centered in Stuttgart, downtown. We also have an office in China, and of course we are part of this whole agency network of Baden-Württemberg. Next slide, please. What we are doing in detail is shown on this map. We are providing either marketing access, we are providing either scientific access, we are providing academia as well as economics in organizing delegations, in organizing trade show participations, in welcoming delegations, but also in outbound delegations. Next slide, please. Looking at the relation of Maharashtra and the land, we heard before it started more than 10 years ago, and during all this process, Baden-Württemberg International was part of being or of offering enabling services in establishing this relationship. Next slide, please. Of course, it's very easy to put these key factors on a slide. It's also very easy to put these key factors on the wall of an office. Talking about Baden-Württemberg International, I can assure you it takes energy, it takes a lot of belief, and it takes a lot of daily strength to keep the pace. And I can assure you, Baden-Württemberg International, I'm representing roughly 100 colleagues of mine. They are burning to promote the land, to assist international companies to come to the land, but also to assist the companies of Baden-Württemberg and the academia to join, for example, in the Maharashtra area and set up businesses. Next slide, please. Just to name a few, you will see some of the activities set up in the very near future, organized by the team of Baden-Württemberg International together with our partner networks. There is some science missions going on, there is trade missions going on. We are providing several participation opportunities in trade shows, and there will be a big trade mission headed by the Minister for Economic Affairs to Delhi, Pune and Mumbai right in February 2025. Next slide, please. I also want to show you some facts and figures of Indian life in Baden-Württemberg too. As you can see, already more than 70 Indian companies in Baden-Württemberg, including the JVs. Our job, our aim is to attract even more companies to Baden-Württemberg, so please feel free to get in touch with us. We also have a little booth right in the foyer, so please come to us. We are eager to help. We like to see us as the one-stop agency assisting you in your way and in your activities coming to Baden-Württemberg and link you either with the government, either with the municipal services or with the chambers of commerce being active in Baden-Württemberg as we are. Next slide, please. You already heard a lot of Baden-Württemberg and our economic strength, our strength in research and development, and the high density of research and development, for example, in universities. Of course, I want to point this out once again. Next slide, please. Let's skip the numbers because I was cut off in time. Next slide, please. I was just participating at an event where one of our ministers was comparing Germany to a company, and he was setting up the different departments, and as it's obviously shown, the research and development department would definitely be located in Baden-Württemberg. Next slide, please. We already heard a lot of economic insights in the speeches beforehand. Me and my colleagues, we wanted to point out all the variety and the broad sectors we got in Baden-Württemberg to all of you, and I hope you can spot the fitting sector for you. Once again, feel free to contact us, feel free to make use of our services, and we are happy to assist. Next slide, please. Thank you very much for having me on stage today. It is a great honor to be here, to be part of this event. I am looking forward to the further networking, and to stay in the sporty language, I'm looking forward to the after-match party this evening and to see you again tonight in the Newcastle. Thank you.
As always, requesting Mr. Barandas and Mr. Ruben Kasper. That's right. Important message. Bear in mind, it is a long power-packed day, but at the end of this long power-packed day, we will all be heading towards Neues Schloss or Newcastle for a dinner hosted by the state of Baden-Württemberg. So, can't wait to get to that, but we have a lot to accomplish before we get to that dinner. And as you can see on stage, the next session is already in progress. And it's on a very interesting topic. It's the topic of our times. It's what we discuss all the time. That dreaded word, tariff. And one Mr. Trump and his tantrums. So, the question is, how well are India and Germany positioned in the face of his tariff tantrums? Our playoff is on the theme free trade agreement and trade wars. The India-Germany advantage. Take a look.
Tariffs, tariff, tariff, tariff.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
Trump hits global trade with a hammer blow.
Multinationals lose billions.
Unilateralism is back.
A single signature shook global markets.
And supply chains never looked the same.
Everyone's asking the same question.
What's the new safe zone? But in the storm came recalibration.
In the noise, a quiet alliance grew louder.
India and Germany, two democracies with deep industrial roots and futuristic ambition,
began to write a different kind of trade story.
In a world of economic warfare,
They chose cooperation. In a decade of decoupling, they chose reinvention.
this is not about free trade. It's about fair, fearless futures.
The playoff begins.
That's right, playoff begins on the biggest topic of our times. I'm going to first invite the players of this playoff on stage. From Germany, we have State Councillor Kasper Sutter, Head of Department of Economic, Social and Environmental Affairs, Canton of Basel-Stadt. Thank you, Mr. Sutter. Please. We have Mr. Joachim Erdler, Member of Board of Managing Directors, LBBW. Please, huge round of applause for Mr. Erdler. Thank you. And from India, we have Mr. Sachidanand Shukla, Group Chief Economist of Larsen & Toubro, requesting you to please take the stage. Huge round of applause for Mr. Sachidanand Shukla. We also have Professor Sachin Kumar Sharma, Director General, Research and Information System for Developing Countries. Sir, please, requesting you to take the stage as well. And, as I said, this is a playoff, which means the playoff will have a referee. And let me now invite the referee to take the stage, Mr. Stefan Halusa, former Director General, Indo-German Chamber of Commerce. Stefan Halusa, please, requesting you to take the stage and referee this playoff for us. All yours.
Now? Yeah, now it works. Thank you very much. And of course, a very good evening, good afternoon. Evening is later today. We're looking forward to that. But now we would like to talk about and spice the conversation up a little bit by talking about trade agreements and trade wars happening at the same time. The scene has been set. Obviously, this whole discussion has been triggered about a year ago. And I remember last year when we met here for the first News9 Global Summit, Mr. Trump had just been re-elected into the office of the President of the United States, and we all know how often in his campaign he has mentioned the fact that he's going to impose tariffs right after the elections. At that time, I was surprised that many Indian entrepreneurs and top management were of the opinion that actually that may play out to the benefit of India, because most certainly Mr. Trump will focus on another country with those tariffs, and that was again confirmed by a survey that the Indo-German Chamber did together with KPMG earlier this year, where the majority again thought that, again, India, the Indian economy, Indian industry may actually benefit from these tariffs. Now, of course, we are a little bit further down the year, and I think that seems to be quite a miscalculation. India is now, or Indian products are now burdened with 50% of tariffs, and I would like to ask my first question to Professor Sharma. You are in your function as the Director General of an Indian think tank also observing, you're monitoring these mega trade agreement negotiations. Now, where are we with the discussions between, or negotiations between the US and India? Is there any progress? Can we expect an agreement sometime soon? After all, it has hit India quite hard.
Thank you very much, and thanks TV9 for inviting me for this wonderful event. On this Trump tariff, one or two things which I would like to mention about this. Yes, this is a very uncertain time, and even if you are trading with any country, there are trade issues are there with many countries, but this trade issue need to be tackled with negotiation, with dialogue. But if a country imposes unilateral measures, then it's not going to work. It is going to create more uncertainty, and it's not good at all for any country. Now, about the narrative being built about India like a tariff king, or we are creating barrier, let I make it also very clear that if these countries themselves introspect, and if they see their tariff and non-tariff barriers, what they are imposing on the global south, then the picture would be very different. I give the one example. Even in many countries, like a product like peanut, the rich country, they impose more than 160% tariff. Where you will get this kind of figure? The problem is that to make a narrative that the country is a protectionist and then they wanted to make or take market access. That is not going to work. For this, we all countries need to understand the sensitivity of each other. And if we are not able to understand the sensitivity of each other, then it's not good for any country. We need to believe in the rule-based multilateral system. That's what we are believing. There need to be a rule-based world order, and this world order should not be dictated by the unilateral action. That's one thing. And yes, to make the trade negotiation further, the government of India is taking step. We believe in the dialogue, and we are working on this aspect. Yes, we have a lot of sensitivity, and if these sensitivities are considered, then yes, very soon we will work on, we will have concrete trade deals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, of course, we would all like to see this agreement sometime soon. I guess the complication comes when one side believes in conversations and in compromises and playing by the rules, and the other side doesn't. That makes the playoffs slightly more difficult. But I would like to move on to Joachim Erdle. You are in close contact with industry, with companies of all sizes in all sectors. So what do we hear from them right now? How much does that uncertainty, especially the uncertainty coming from changing tariffs overnight without any notice period, how is that impacting their plans, their investment plans, and does that affect all regions, all sectors, or are some regions or sectors maybe kind of immune against these uncertainties?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Immunity would be great, but I guess nevertheless, I mean, this is not really the case. I think what we need to have in mind is the export-oriented economic model of Germany, I mean, really is under pressure. And it has not been started some months ago, it started some 10 years ago. And therefore, a lot of our customers already invested international. So most of our customers are well prepared. However, what we have seen in the last couple of months, maybe 1-2 years, there was an enormous increase in capex, especially in the US, mainly driven by subsidies like the IRA. And therefore, most of our customers, first of all, stick with their strategy and their plan, because in most cases, it's a long-term strategy. But given the uncertainty which we are facing at the moment in the market, mainly driven by tariffs and some other issues, I would say some of them starting to postpone investment. I think the good news is they only postpone. They don't cancel. So they are waiting for a more stable environment and then again pick up their plans and go further with their international investment strategy. This is what we hear from our client. So overall, I mean, the US and all the other countries remain attractive markets from a commercial point of view. Again, I mean, all of our customers look very, very carefully at the environment and appreciate stability, which is not the case at the moment. But once they feel comfortable, they definitely restart with their activities.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think stability is an important factor in this game, and of course, one of the other results of the business outlook is always that political stability speaks for India, because this is one of the criteria that is always ranked highest when we ask what are your reasons to invest in India. So I guess stability is really the name of the game here. I would like to move on to Kaspar Sutter from Switzerland, not from Germany. I think there was a small mistake at the beginning here. But looking at, of course, Switzerland, Switzerland has now been burdened with 39% of import duties. I think that was something that was completely unexpected. Now there is the threat, at least, to impose another 100% of tariffs on pharmaceuticals, which I guess would hit the industry in China, in Switzerland quite hard, especially also in and around Basel. Is there already a way of assessing the kind of damage that is doing to the industry in Switzerland, or how are companies responding? Are they also continuing with their plans or just postponing? What's the reaction of the industry in Switzerland?
So first, thank you very much that I can be here as a Swiss person at the German-Indian Summit. It's very interesting to see all that thing. Me coming from Basel, mainly focused on pharmaceutical and life sciences. It's the biggest one in Europe. And a lot of exports of Switzerland. Half of the exports are from the pharmaceutical products, so mainly our companies of Basel would be affected. Until now, Switzerland, a free trade orientated small country, economically very potent and very strong. We are always looking for free trade because we think that free trade is in the best of everything. We are always looking for multilateralism, which is very much hurt and not accepted anymore by the US. So we see at the moment this situation of insecurity, that you never know what's going to happen. If a tweet can change the rules in the United States, the country where a lot of companies would like to invest, but at the same time you have all these insecurities. And so I think it's the main thing we try to keep on is to be reliable and predictable, and to give this safe situation for foreign investments which investing in Switzerland. So up to now we have this 39% of tariffs, which is very high compared with our European neighbors and also with other countries. So it's not 50 like India, but 39 is very much. US, as you can imagine, is after Germany the most important trading country for Switzerland. So, but yeah, pharmaceuticals are not included yet. So we have these tariffs on machinery, very much hit, watches, chocolates, and things like that. So up to now, it's quite difficult to see the effect on our economy, because a lot of companies that did brought all the goods before the tariffs to the US. So when you see the first half of this year, numbers look very good because everybody produced a lot and brought it to United States. And now to see what's happening if the companies are able to increase prices in the US, if they find other partners in other regions of the world, it's quite difficult to see, or if it's also a reduction in the profits of these trading. For us, it's very difficult. From the pharmaceuticals, we always said tariffs on innovative medicine is not a good idea because it's paid by the patients and nothing else. So normally states are not taking these measurements because it's not in the interests of their patients. So we don't know. It looks like a power play to try to bring investments to US, which our big companies, they are very strongly invested in the United States already. So, and of course, since COVID, you can also see that investments in production, at least of medicines, is going closer to the patients and the markets. This is already before Mr. Trump came into power. So I think this is the shift we see globally, that medicines production is going closer to the patients. But yeah, up to now, to your main question, the impact on the economy, I can't really give you an answer at that moment.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I would like to ask a similar question to Sajidan and Shukla. I mean, L&T has, if I remember correctly, 5 locations in the United States. So you're operating in the United States. Do you already see an impact on your business development, the operations in the US? So what are you expecting in the months to come?
Thank you, TV9 and the line. Thank you, TV9 and the land, for this opportunity. I am an economist, and therefore I would want to talk about economics rather than the company's plans. But before that, let me give you a caveat as an economist. For whatever I'm going to say now, for every economist, you have an equal and opposite economist, right? And whatever he or she says about the future, it's likely to be wrong on the both sides. Having said that, I think on a serious note, it's very easy to get swept away with this whole talk of tariffs and the problems that it is causing to the rest of the world. But I think the US is not new to protectionism. We have seen various regimes and presidencies actually come up with tariffs. Remember the 1980s when they tried to throw out the Japanese and so on and so forth. So there have been multiple such episodes. Let us also look at some of the positives. What is happening is, because of the US policies, you now have multipolar demand from the global economy. What I mean is, earlier there were only the US and the Chinese growth. Now what you have is he's shaken the pot, and therefore the fiscal inertia that existed in Europe and some of the other places, that is beginning to change. You will get to see more levers of global demand. Also, let's not forget what we are getting is low oil prices, lower commodity prices, and emergence of new age sectors and technologies. It's also led to diversification plans and strategizing by corporates like us everywhere in the world. And finally, it has given India an opportunity to look inwards in terms of what's been wrong, the tariff policies, the kind of policies that we have been using or in international trade. It is time now to cleanse a lot of that. If we do that, there is a huge opportunity. We can work with partners who share the same vision and who have the same shared goals and shared future, like Germany, and there is a much brighter future ahead. You did talk about stability and reliability. Let me give you a couple of stats. If you look at India, last 30 years, this economy has grown at 6% compounded. That means the economy has gone up 13 times in the last 30 years. The per capita income has gone up by about 9 times. If you compare that to the US, it's gone up by 4.7 times in terms of GDP. Per capita, just under 3, right? Look at Germany or France or UK. The GDP has gone up by just 2.5 times in this period. And also per capita incomes have gone up by 2.1, 2.2 times. So I think if you look at it from a future perspective, even if India does no better than the past, growing at 6%, real terms 6.5%, plus some inflation, nominal terms 11%, this is an economy, $4 trillion and doubling every 7 years. Where are you going to find that? So I think if you look at reliability, stability, you mentioned about political stability, I think there is no better place to do business than India.
Thank you very much. And also for now shifting the attention maybe more to the Indo-German or Indo-EU corridor. And I would like to take this up next with the question. I mean, we've heard this, the negotiations are ongoing between India and the EU now for some time. And we heard Mr. Šefčovič speaking this morning, and the Commissioner said that he's, I think, maximizing efforts, which is, of course, good news. But I listened very carefully. I didn't really hear any detail about the progress that we're taking. And I would like to start with Professor Sharma again. I mean, again, assuming that you're watching these negotiations, do you see the progress? And if so, can you indicate where the best or how the best known obstacles are being approach, like agriculture, CBAM, because these have been blocking, I think, the negotiations for a long time. And in addition, of course, now there's again the threat by the US of additional tariffs on all countries which are importing Russian oil. Will that add complexity? Will that slow down the negotiations? What's your view here?
Yeah, thank you very much. About India-EU FTA, there is much progress is happening at the moment. Yes, since morning, there is prediction that by end of this year we will able to finalize the this India-EU FTA. But yes, there are some sticking points as well there. One point is all about the sustainabilities. The sustainability means all like sustainability, whether it's Indian or Germany or Swiss, but the approach to sustainability is very different country to country. The definition is very different. For instance, when we talk about the sustainability from India's perspective, there are 3 dimensions: environment, social, economic. But if we take only environment sustainability and make unilateral rules like CBAM, then it may happen that many of the SME industry may be excluded from the multilateral system. This is the one concern which in India we have about the sustainability. In agriculture, like European Union, we also have a lot of sustainability. I, being the negotiator of Government of India to the WTO for 16 years, I have seen the sensitivity of the European Union, where the US again and again they wanted market access in the European Union, but EU was reluctant to even to negotiate the market access. we also have the defensive interest, because we have millions of low-income or resource-poor farmers, and the livelihood, the life, the rural development, all is connecting with the agriculture. So these are some of the issues which are sensitive, and for this sensitivity, both India and EU need to come together. The one thing that we are in this football stadium, and in football, each team tried to score against each other to make more goal. But here, India and Germany have to come together to make one goal. That is a shared prosperity, where we can all come together and we can make all trading system very inclusive. That is the way forward.
Thank you very much, and I would like to ask Mr. Adler as well, what is your assessment now about the progress in the negotiations? I mean, both countries have proven that they're capable of concluding agreements. India concluded with EFTA last year, with the UK this year, and then there was the agreement signed between Indonesia and the EU just recently. Just between India and the EU, somehow things get stuck, and we heard today we're looking at an agreement by the end of this year, or maybe early next year, which seems to be an indication that progress is not as fast as we hoped it to be. From your point of view, how would your clients react if that would be postponed again? Would that cause companies to maybe then relook at or revisit their investment plans and say that I go rather to Indonesia, or maybe Indian companies would say, well, then I'm going to Switzerland or the UK because there we have agreements?
Very good question. What we are seeing is that, our customers are looking maybe for stability, but more important is predictability and clarity. So once we know the framework, the circumstances, it's much easier to deal with them. And this is currently a real issue for our customers. So finally, I would say a lot of our customers already invested in India, but they invested in India due to the attractive local market. And the market is attractive, as we have learned, huge growth rates, highly attractive employees levels, etc., etc. So I would say having a clear framework in place will definitely help to finally decide now to either extend investments in India or start really entering the Indian market. And therefore, if it will be postponed to the beginning of next year, our corporates will look at it and will say, okay, we're not surprised because we experienced this for now 20 years roughly. But finally, they are really prepared because they have their plan, as already mentioned. They have the strategy, and once they have clarity, then they will really start either investing more or really start entering the Indian market. And the Indian market is highly attractive. And putting together the competences of India and EU corporates obviously create additional value on both sides. And this makes it so attractive, and therefore, I would rather prefer to have the FTA in place earlier than later, because then we will really start lifting these advantages on both sides. But I would finally, it's not only a question, if it is the end of this year or maybe in Q1 26, but it should be finalized on a really short-term basis.
Yeah, I guess we all hope so, that it's going to be the case. Now, of course, Switzerland or the EFTA has been successful in concluding a trade agreement. I'm not sure whether it's a free trade agreement, but it's called a trade agreement with India last year. So the question would be, what can we learn from EFTA, from the negotiators? What did you do better, or how was the approach different to come to this result? Obviously, one big commitment was made, and that is 100 billion investment from EFTA companies or corporates into India over the next 15 years. Is that like the ticket price for an agreement? Is that what you have to pay to get one, or were there other means?
For Switzerland as a small country, it's very important to have clear agreements with the best, with every country on globally. So obviously with the European Union, where we had very good bilateral agreement, where we have a new package, we are now going to find the ratification and the popular vote, I guess, in Switzerland, for have a clear situation with the European Union. But with India, I'm very happy that it was able to conclude as a EFTA, so we did it together with Iceland, Liechtenstein and Norway, to have this free trade agreement. It's called Trade and Economic Partnership Agreement actually, but it brings lower tariffs on 95 of the exported goods, no tariffs on almost 85 of the exported goods within 10 years, so it's like a temporary, it's changing every year. And on the other side, it's this commitment to have direct investments of 100 billion from these 4 countries in India in the upcoming 15 years. And for us, what was also very important was the protection of intellectual property rights. I think that's, if we want to have fair trade, it's very important to find agreements on that. That's innovation, which is also important for Baden-Württemberg, is clearly protected. It's good for both sides to have clear rules on the protection of intellectual property rights. And now, 8 days ago, it started. It's in power, so obviously we don't see the effects in this short time. But yeah, I'm convinced, because India is a growing market, very important with young population, that it will have a big impact on the trade on both sides and also on the investments on both sides. So normally when you're trading with each other, then you also start to investing in the other country, which helps both sides. So I'm looking quite forward to that agreement we have as Switzerland with India, and I hope that it will strengthen the trading and the investment relations between the 2 countries.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kaspar, because of course that's the expectation when you conclude an agreement. And so let's see about the progress. And I would like to ask Sajid Anand again about, from your point of view, when we look at the conclusion of the trade agreement, would that mean that also Europe gets much more attractive as an investment destination for Indian companies? Would you see that there is a lot of investment then coming from India into Europe, hopefully, of course, Germany, hopefully Baden-Württemberg, but also other European countries? And or in the case of a failure, could that also mean that investments are going to Switzerland or to the UK or other countries India has an agreement with?
It's never a good idea to let an economist stand between lunch and people, but I think it's very, very important to ask that question. If you look at the FTAs or the negotiations that we've been having forever, very, very important to understand what we are striving to achieve. As one of the largest blocks of economic growth, and if you look at India, it's soon going to become the 3rd largest, and so on and so forth. I think it's very important to understand the shared values, where we are going to in terms of, so while it may have taken us more than a decade to arrive at an agreement, but I think whatever we get, maybe this year or the next, I think is going to be good for the rest of the world. India, with its basic pillars of democracy and demand, is likely to be one of the forces of good for the rest of the world. And I think Europe can partner with India in its journey. And if you look at the way Indian economy is going to grow, and multiple sectors, for example, just infrastructure, we have invested about $1 trillion in just the last 7 years, right? And the consumption market is about another $3 trillion. And all of this, if it is going to double every 7 years, it offers tremendous scope for investments and for shared prosperity going forward. And therefore, I think Indian companies, if you look at the FDI data, the last data that we had, outward investments have grown at a much faster rate. And that tells us that the ambition in this economy, the entrepreneurship is humongous. Also look at it the other way. If you look at the Indian IPO market, right, the primary market, what we've seen is it was the largest or the biggest such market in the world last year by value. And in terms of volumes, again, it was the largest. And therefore, if you look at not just the India macro story, right, which is the GDP and going on to become 7 trillion and doubling every 7 years, I think also look at the micro India story. Indian companies have an ROE of more than 20%, and which is second only to the United States. So India's story is backed by a macro and a promise of an economy that is going to double at 4 trillion every 7 years, and also a micro story where we have corporate governance, we have ambition in corporate India to grow, and I think this combination is going to be great for the partnership of EU and India going forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that positive ending that you have just announced or explained. You already mentioned it. It's us between you and your lunch, and we're looking into many hungry faces. We got the sign already, so I would like to thank you. There are more factors that we had to leave out. I would have loved to speak about China as well and the implications there, but again, let's end on a positive note and take what you just said, the attractiveness of the market, and of course the great potential of the Indo-German, Indo-European collaboration. Thank you very much. Thanks for your insights. Thank you for listening, and
thank you.
It's not thanks.
Requesting all the gentlemen on stage to please stay on stage, and of course requesting Ruben Kasper to take the stage, and requesting Sridharan Ramakrishnan to please come on stage to present the shawl as well. And of course requesting Stefan and everybody else to stay back for the photo opportunity as well. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Shri. Thank you, Ruben. And with that, it's time for what we've been waiting for quite a while now. It's time for lunch. Requesting all of you to please go for lunch. We'll be back here at 2 o'clock. You have 20 minutes for lunch. It's going to be a working lunch. You can, of course, carry your plates back into the conference hall as well. But requesting all of you to reassemble back in 20 minutes. 2 o'clock, we begin again with our post-lunch session. But for now,
co-powered by Hetic sliding system, smooth, silent, seamless.
North Gujarat, where tradition meets progress. To realize Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's vision of Vikasit Bharat at 2047 and to accelerate Chief Minister Shri Bhupendra Patel's mission of Vikasit Gujarat at 2047, the land of North Gujarat is set to take another great leap forward with the Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conference on the 9th and 10th of October in Mehsana. This conference will bring new technologies in agriculture and the dairy industry, global partnerships for green energy and innovation, countless opportunities for youth in startups and entrepreneurship. It will attract investments, expand industries, and open new avenues of employment. A platform that connects North Gujarat's potential with global possibilities. The Vibrant Gujarat Regional Conferences.
पापा भूख लगी है, मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है।
पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा।
सब मिलेगा। सरप्राइज! पेट्रोल, रेस्टोरेंट, क्लीन वॉशरूम, सब मिलेगा। इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप में। हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए। तो जब भी सफर पर निकलें, स्वागत में जरूर रुकें, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपर्स एश्योरेंस।
1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे।
रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
The ultimate biking experience is incomplete without Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil. Can't do without it.
Look, this investment guru tips will double your money. Just claim the offer.
Double your money from any random group. Pay attention. Promising double returns, they'll lure you in tight. Unverified groups will send fake tips overnight, emptying your pockets before you can fight.
Well said, well said, well said.
SEBI and NSE advise consult only SEBI registered advisors and make payments only to verified accounts or UPI IDs. An investor awareness initiative by SEBI and NSE.
News9 Global Summit Germany edition. Democracy, Demography, Development, the India-Germany Connect. That is going to be the theme of the next keynote address, and we have a very special person, another very special person giving that address. As Germany and India deepen their economic ties, his work is what Europe has to say. Time now for what India has to say, and leading India's economic integration and talking about the force behind the landmark trade agreements between India and Germany, between Baden-Württemberg and the state of Maharashtra. It's time now to invite somebody very special. We have honored to introduce Minister of State for Europe, Gunther Kirschbaum. Take a look.
In an age when borders blur and power shifts, 3 forces decide the world's future. Democracy, demography, development. India, the world's largest democracy. Germany, Europe's industrial core. 2 nations shaping policies, populations, and progress for a shared century. At the heart of this dialogue is a European statesman, a voice for stability, inclusion, and a united future. Minister of State for Europe at Germany's Foreign Office. Please welcome Minister of State for Europe at the German Foreign Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge round of applause for Mr. Gunther Kirschbaum, who is joining us live as we speak. Mr. Kirschbaum, all yours. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the nice introduction and especially for the invitation. And dear Excellencies, Ministers, colleagues, and also members of Parliament, dear guests of honor, I'm very grateful and also pleased that I'm here, part of your conference. And of course, I accepted immediately when Florian Hasler asked me to join this important summit, because you should know the economic heart of Germany is beating in Baden-Württemberg. And I can say it not only as somebody who is coming from the state of Baden-Württemberg, but also as a supporter of the VfB Stuttgart. And VfB Stuttgart is a very, very important team, also in the so-called Bundesliga and our league. And we look for the competition in Germany as Stuttgart, but also in the world when we talk today about the Indian and German relations, and especially the economic relations. But allow me first to congratulate Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut, because we know each other since a long, very long time. And dear Nicole, all the best to your birthday, and especially for all the upcoming events which we have to focus in the next time, especially in Baden-Württemberg, when I look also on the elections. And this is part of the democracy, of course. Well, let me make a few introductory remarks. Yes, you are right. We are negotiating at the moment about a free trade agreement, and we need more free trade agreements in the world. As Germany, especially as Baden-Württemberg, but also India will benefit from it. Why? I give you a short example. We are living here in the European Union, and European means we are living in a single market, without tariffs, without borders, free movement of persons, free movement of goods. And this is a huge advantage. Also, it has shown an impact on our economic growth in the past. And we believe that it is also necessary to diversify more from China. It is not necessary and also not our intention to become independent from China. But to diversify more makes sense. So we are negotiating on the one hand with the so-called ASEAN states with different approaches, but India is key. India is not only the most important state on the world looking on its population. It is a growing market, and it is not only a growing market, it has importance in science, in education, in AI, and especially when I look on the cooperation between our universities in India, but also in Baden-Württemberg and Germany-wide, we see that especially here we have a development and a future and a potential which is necessary that we use it. So let me give you only a few figures. 60,000 people young people from India, students, are doing their studies in Germany. It's a huge potential because each student is a bridge between our nations. I could describe you the economic development, which Nicole Hofmeister-Kraut already did. I could describe you what important subjects when we look also on sustainability, when we look also on our protection of environment. These are issues which have an importance for Germany, but also for European Union and also for India. So the potential is a very, very high one. When I look on the milestone, which would be this agreement, this free trade agreement between our two nations, it is also necessary to give a clear answer where we have our humbling stones. And let me say, with a clear willingness and with compromises, it is possible to achieve the goal to negotiate till the end of the year and to find a very, very crucial agreement. So only these few remarks at the very beginning. And once again, congratulations to your conference. Congratulations also to everybody who is engaged in India-German relationship and improving it day for day. And we, as a Foreign Affairs Ministry, we are supporting it. And also our Foreign Affairs Minister, Johann Wadephul, recently visited India. And this is not, let me say, one thing which we are doing one time in a legislature period. We will deepen this relationship, and especially our people will benefit from it. So thank you very much for the invitation, and then I'm also open for your remarks. Unfortunately, I cannot be present in Stuttgart because we have a session week in the German Bundestag, the same for Johann Wadephul. We have to guarantee also our majority in the parliament. That's very important in democracy, and especially also here. But I'm open for your questions. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Gunther, for that. Huge round of applause. Stay with us. We have some top editors at the News9 network asking some questions for you. Shri, please go ahead.
Minister Critchbaum, first of all, thank you very much for joining us this morning at the News9 Global Summit. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't hear it.
Good morning, Minister Critchbaum. Thank you, first of all, for joining us at the News9 Global Summit. You touched upon many important areas of collaboration between India and Germany. The one that everyone really wants to hear on is a German perspective on the India and EU FTA, the Free Trade Agreement. From a German perspective, negotiations still going on. What are the areas where you'd like to see quick progress, or maybe some sort of, I would say, a concession from India to essentially ensure that we are able to strike a deal by the end of this year or latest by early next year, Minister Critchbaum?
As I mentioned at the very beginning, there are some obstacles, some hurdles which have to be taken. And I mentioned the automotive industry, which is a core industry for Baden-Württemberg, and not only for Baden-Württemberg, but also for Germany. And there we need a little bit more compromise, a little bit more flexibility. This is needed if we want to achieve the goal to negotiate it till the end of the year. But we have also other issues, other subjects where I'm confident, where I'm optimistic and find a
Alakazam face disappears. Moonlight.
Smooth, silent, seamless. Sliding systems from headache.
पापा भूख लगी है, मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है।
पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा। सब मिलेगा। सरप्राइज! पेट्रोल, रेस्टोरेंट, क्लीन वॉशरूम, सब मिलेगा। इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप पे। हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए। तो जब भी सफर पर निकलें, स्वागत में जरूर रुकें, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस अश्योरेंस। 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
This is my temple, this is my mental peace sanctuary.
The ultimate biking experience is incomplete without Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil.
Breaking them all up.
Servo 40 Extra from Indian Oil. Can't do without it.
A small window of hope has opened for Nimisha Priya. You know, human beings live by hope. Is Vijay challenging Dravidian party? Payments have been made, but no books inside. If there is corruption at the BO office, maybe I want to learn Hindi, that I do not know how to speak Kannada. Go to the second part.
To have Hindi compulsion.
2 kids were asked to clean the toilet because of their caste. All these kids were forced to do it. I will clearly protest against this. 3 passes, Mr. Gowda. People rushed. I'm asking you, what makes Palani so confident? We're sitting on moral boulders. Tamil Nadu seems to have become extremely unsafe.